round for our second series. This one I'm expecting to go the distance again, starting off map number 1 as per usual on domination, and we're going to burn into Chala.
Yeah, you know what, Vicky? We've had this map almost exclusively in the playoffs. Right, amazing, showing a little bit of that Panther. We only saw it once there on Clintar, I believe, against Nemesis. Hasn't come back since, but they do have it up their sleeve. And you know what? We saw a bunch of teams against Sentinels start to ban Captain America. Crimzo does such a good job of sustained bowling, everything you want from Steve Rogers.
I'm not surprised. It's been a lot more of these focus bans too, as the protect onto the Emma Frost comes out from 100 Thieves, and we saw how strong TTK was on that just yesterday as the ban onto the Emma Frost from the other side, as Sentinels, they're going to be able to lock in that Magneto.
Yeah, there's so much like metagame going on here, and focus and trying to think of what they're trying to do, but showcase different things. Looking at it, of course, they're going to be focusing some of the top duelists and carries that we've seen. That's also respect to Terra, of course, but they're not. We saw this yesterday. Ego Death let 100 Thieves play the Luna Loki. Not this time, obviously. Just way too good. And if we look down below, Loki being banned as well. So all that 24 seconds, not going to get any of that as we head into the last ban for 100 Thieves, and it's triple res shut down.
Yep, I was expecting this because this also shuts down the attempt on running triple support just with the Mantis, Ultron, and an insert Cloak and Dagger here while they protect the Loki. I was going to say, for anybody tuning in here and you want to actually look at like the different players side by side, you have to look at the combined power of like Nectar and Rymazing versus like Terra and Delun. Like this is literally going to be the battle of ages, and in the backline matchup alone, I was expecting it either they were going to let the res comp go, but that's where their strength is, or either the auto Atom or Mantis ban versus a straight raw brawl, as we get to see the last safe pick here.
Yeah, this might change some things up here, Vicky, because obviously Loki, Harvey, they go together, but typically whenever Cloak's available, Harvey goes to that Cloak and Dagger, SJP going to, you know, the Loki, but this time they get rid of that game plan. I like that to kind of throw them off a bit, but yeah, you said it great there. That's going to be the big story. In the past, Delina is kind of that one looking for the flank angle, and that's really put pressure on Sentinels in the past. TTK showing off a little bit of that flex there on Emma. Did a great job there with the Echoes, and they did leave that team up open. Pretty deadly stuff, and I like that Terra showing the hella again, even though he has some other options available.
Terra, I feel like, is a professional diddle. You can put Terra on anything hit scan related, or just anything in general. We even saw, you know, the Vanguard rolling out here too as we get set up once again for map number 1. But you got to see the Loki band, it looked like, from the other side too. So a lot of focus between the Loki and the Mantis as we get to take a look at our chat preds. Actually, really more forward on the Sentinel side than 100 Thieves, which I'm actually really surprised. I thought it was going to be a lot closer.
Yeah, I'm shocked. I mean, you might as well spin a ball on a roulette wheel with these two teams and what you could get the outcome for. So the talent, they are neck and neck, but hey, they're both in boot camps. They both have so much experience in the game against each other as one team as they collide in a battle for the ages here. And Crimzo bringing the team right to the fight, not the points. This is going to be awesome.
I'm going to duke it out immediately. Frame 1, just looking behind as they get a little bit of head because 100 Thieves are already rotating from the high ground instead, so they'll have the positional advantage going into this first fight.
Yeah, we have Rymazing here, who's done a great job on Human Torch. They leave it open, though. Team somewhat disrespecting what Rymazing could potentially do here on Johnny Storm, throwing down that pressure, and Flames immediately Delina. That's going to be their main focus. They're trying to get that pressure on the Torch to look for the heals and look for the get out here. Delina barely escaping there, as we can see, and throwing down the Thorns is Terra as the first point is tied up.
Look at the TTK Emma Frost coming out again. We saw how crazy the damage output TTK was putting in, and it could be a little bit of a sleeper when you're having Terra just pop off, and with Harvey also combine that with getting the trade-off of Delena and Crimzo. It's an even fight, and TTK already has that 100% damage output on that Emma Frost beam.
Yeah, if Kurova's the Adam Warlock mascot, it's got to be Loki for Harvey there. TTK getting a cleanup on Techie. That's a huge opener there. Now Mason trying to ride this Internal Bond into the pressure, and now Nectar following up with Amoria as well. That's 2 they're making now with the Invisible Boundary going up. Might be a little too late, but the push off there, SJP, that was a beauty.
Oh, and the res off of Terra getting that 1 KO brings Harvey right back, which actually allows 100 Thieves to try to re-engage just as quickly, and that's with 100 Thieves also being able to get the point first.
The snow was melting, but they made the snowball into the avalanche into what was a point take, and that was looking strong there for Sentinels for a quick second. SJP, we don't see him on Invisible Woman that often, I'll be honest. Not someone that we see him play too much. It's either Loki or Luna. Not this time around, though. Great push to start things off.
Could have been that Luna band that we saw coming out from the other side, something that Sentinels try to prioritize and saving for Korova. As Korova will be able to enter into this next fight with the fate of both worlds. All eyes, though, onto Delena, who's trying to target that backline. Techie taking a good amount of that damage. Amazing with the Supernova. And TTK trying to deny the strategist ults from Sentinels just as they try to approach here, but they're still able to stall.
Yeah, that's what those fire tornadoes can do so well. Kneel before TTK, though, with that pressure push forward. The Nectar trading Psylocke v Psylocke. Love to see Crimso with the group hug and the group elim now. But Terra, again, just being able to get so much trade value, getting Harvey back up. Remember, that team up just often slept on and forgotten, as now just trying to escape his TTK. And as we would expect, Vicky, this is going to be just a close one.
It's going to be a nail biter. They take it, but it was a beautiful stall there from 100 Thieves. Wouldn't expect anything different when you have Captain America and TTK just trying to move on that Emma Frost. And Terra has just been getting so much of these eliminations too. Definitely a problem that works hand in hand with just being able to get the revive on the Loki together with the Hela.
Yeah, 100% agree there. As looking into this next fight, you've got the Dance of Butterflies to open up that backline. AMER, though, is going to have that internal bond, so the pressure will be relieved. Maybe they find Korova. That would be the big pick to start things out there for 100 Thieves. And then Terra, we saw it in the past. He always saves this Goddess of Death to throw it up mid-fight, get people uncomfortable as they're focusing Vinny first.
With the Eternal Bond being used first, though, and the God of Mischief is going to be able to get the copy onto the Invisible Woman. That's going to be cycled between the Loki and then SJP's Invisible Woman ult, but does not find a mark on that Meteor M. Instead, Korova ends up being a victim to Terra's hands, make it 3 in total, while Delena's like, don't worry, I'm here too. Nectar may have gotten 1 KO, but Delena follows up right afterwards, and 100 Thieves retake the point.
A full 5.0 Terra Quake. I mean, he got 5 out of that, 3 on the ult, 2 with the Thor. It's just insane. The guy can play anything and is showcasing it. They put him at that captain spot for the team for a reason. The trust and most importantly, the skill that guy has. Insane here. Going into the fight, though, we do have the invisible boundary to open things up. TTK can do some kneeling here. And on Sentinels, they've got to win some neutral before they get anything going. Korova closest to it.
Crimso too with that group hug. At least combine that with the Wombo combo on the Supernova and controlling the space. They have to re-engage now, nearing 95% as they try to close in the gap. I'm looking at Delena here. He's able to get away. SJP with a reset on the invisible boundary, and TTK all kneel behind the Psionic Seduction as they know what's coming. They're controlling a good amount of space, and you have the damage output here too already at 92 on that beam.
Yeah, Luna drops the beat there. Korova keeping the team alive, and that's so important as the push trying to make things at least uncomfortable for Crimso, having to make his way back over, and the kick off. Nectar, though, does get the trade on not just one hero, but the important one in Terra, as he throws down the Integral person. They get everybody together, but there's no follow-up. You get 4 of them, 2 in the invisible boundary now as Delena. He's starting to delete heroes, as he always does here. Amazing down, Nectar down, 100 Thieves looking on top.
Well, I was wondering, where was Amazing on the follow-up off that group hug? Amazing was taking a good amount of pressure, but no Supernova right afterwards, right before the KO was landed onto them. But Sentinels still plant their feet here, and Crimso with the Doctor Strange portal is going to come in to re-engage.
Crimson just swapping heroes back and forth. Delena with a quick delete on Techie here, but Nectar going out with the Dance of Butterflies, trying to get that pick early. Terra being the first to fall here. Now, okay, it's 4v5 at this point. The point can go either way. Crimson with the quick melee whip to get the duelist out of the fight. Vicky, this is so close.
Yeah, with TTK coming in on the Doctor Strange, just to portal everybody back into this fight too. And that was with Sentinels in that first initial fight, right before we saw them come in with their own portal, where 100 Thieves had the body advantage. With a lot more players on the point, they had one more of the trades here, and then they slowly backed off, and Sentinels were able to take over that point. So even coming in with that Supernova as a cheeky meteor comes in, misses though, as Terra has this 1v1 upstairs.
Off the backboard, Techie, now that's 2 that he wants back. That's okay, though, as they push it. Right, Amazing on the Yulin feed. Does get that elimination early to start things, but right now, Sentinels kind of backs against the wall here. It is 99 to 99. You've got the Eye of Agamotto, and up goes the Hella ult. Can Terra get a pick? He's going right for Right Amazing. He connects one, but Terra goes down here as Korova dropping the beat in a little bit of 100 Thieves momentum.
JP with that invisible boundary, though, the Eye of Agamotto sneaking through, right through that boundary as Terra finds another pick onto Amazing. Make it 2 with the Crimso. Terra, you sure your hand is injured? Because these KOs constantly back to back, but the nice strength here just to try to take care of that problem. Terra makes a swap over to the Wolverine. Harvey goes down, and 100 Thieves are down to 4 here.
It is as close as it could get. Maybe not a pix away from the Shroud X game we saw, but right there is Vinny throwing down the punches in the animation canceling. Beautiful job there, making a comfortability for Sentinels now, and it's ticking down here overtime. Any minute they're gonna have to get on. It's gonna be right amazing to do the slam to push it forward here. Nectar though trying to get something going. He does get the Lena in the trade.
It's a big trade though at the very least. JSP is also slowly approaching that invisible boundary just to help with the reset. Same thing for TTK on the Eye of Agamotto. Right, amazing with that supernova though. It's gonna control so much space. Look at what overtime is looking like. Literally a pixel as we saw Terra make that swap over to the Wolverine. The Eye of Agamotto finds two big picks onto Crimson and Aramori. They jump off though at the very end. 100 Thieves take round number 1 going down to the wire.
What a way to open up this fight. Incredible effort from both teams, but it was just by, honestly, a step off. 100 Thieves is looking to get that point. Looking at the stats here, I mean, I think you're seeing a lot. I mean, right, amazing. I didn't see an awful ton on the Olympi, but 13K obviously doing his job well. Nectar, though, has just been putting on these silent performances, Vicky, time after time. And then there's Terra, who, you know, he's always doing it.
Yeah, and Terra, a TTK too, like 17.2k. I feel like it's just so easy just to look at your Emma Frost doing Emma Frost things. I clenched a little bit for Crimson when I saw TTK going into the diamond form and try to fish for trying to get that environmental KO with the kickoff. Didn't get it in that moment, which was what led to that group hug. But TTK is also just such a big problem to deal with.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, you know what TTK stands for? It's take teams kindly to the spawn room. Just such an insane job there. Yeah, that's off the tongue. But as the team pushing in, if you're Sentinels, I mean, you played well, you played great. Couple times you just could not connect those ults. You're gonna see a lot between these two well-coached teams. It comes down to the ult fights and just the perfect timing, precision, as now Amazing floating on the top of this point.
Amazing, despite a lot of the focus coming out from Terra though, and even finding these picks onto Amazing themselves, Terra has been putting in that pressure, but Amazing in general has a lot of cover to work with vertically here, especially with that middle pillar before it could break out and reveal the den right down below. But there's that damage output when you have a Brute on the other side, though. You boost it up just as quickly as the dance of butterflies after Vinny gets a first initial KO. Deadlena following up with a 2K.
Dance of the butterflies, call it dance execution, but here comes Crimson throwing them together. It's not going to get enough. They're using ults to try to cap this at that as well. They really want it, unfortunately don't get it, throwing everything, gaining nothing. 100 Thieves taking over the point.
Gotta break down, just not only are you consistently able to keep your beam at just a high amount of damage output, but it's thanks to these Groot walls that you get to keep going with it. Crimson being on that Groot could be a double-edged sword for them here, but Vinny does have that ultimate with the Captain America before the re-engage happens here from Sentinels with Aramori.
Yeah, looking here, Aramori can open up that internal bond, and then Amazing maybe can follow. Nectar, though, looking, he has gotten a lot of value, Vicky, from those dance of butterflies. He's going to look to go once again, at least on SJP. Harvey and SJP far from the ult, or at least not going to get it immediately in this team fight. And they're focusing TTK, who might as well just be another duelist out there with what he can put out. And there it is, dance of the butterflies go down, lanterns to follow, but they still get Terra and wipe 2 important cooldowns.
TTK in the down 4 like, let me out, these Groot walls are stopping me. It couldn't help heal for my team. Deadlena tries to answer back, not finding it shot because the invisible barrier was right there too, but it gets caught out. Techie, as Nectar gets a follow-up. Techie gets Harvey. No backline for you as Sentinels are able to reclaim this point.
Yeah, beautiful job there from Tech again. We've seen it so many times, like Prince, just huge purple rain down on that team, throwing it down. Another great elimination there. Amazing does have the supernova ready to go. 100 Thieves, though, they always have that fire extinguisher right in the back pocket. TTK, though, we've seen this is all they need, right? They've got the Neil, they've got Harvey. One support ult, you need one from each role, and they can usually get the point. This is going to be a tough ult for Sentinels, who used a lot to get that point, but Karoba here with the dance ready to drop.
Psionic Seduction bringing everybody in their direction. Still finds Techie before the fade of both worlds allowed for the reset. Unfortunate, but even better news for the re-engage of the choke slam onto Amazing. Nowhere is safe. That also just always feels so personal whenever the Emma Frost knows what to do and focusing what that problem is, which is Amazing in this case.
Techie just begging to get his groove on, can't catch the beat, and
oh my goodness,
because of it, oh my gosh, just like that, Nectar goes up with the dance of butterflies but gets eliminated. TTK, top tier kid living up to the name.
Dude, and he's moving, breaking some ankles out here too, knowing that right now TTK is the actual problem. And here comes Delena, while TTK distracts everybody in the front with that gigantic beam. Delena gets the KOs necessary. Terra takes the sky, and they're trying to desperately flip this because this is still in favor for Sentinels right now as they near 70%.
Yeah, they're just trying to stall as long as possible here. Vinny, though, trading with AMER. That's going to be huge now as Terra just trying to get a little bit of relief. Techie now going to fall down here, unfortunately, as Strategist already went down to follow here. And then Nectar kind of left by himself. He is going to collapse. And at this point, it's looking, I mean, it could go either way here, Vicky. Obviously, whoever wins the first point has a little bit of advantage there with the ults and everything. But, you know, I like the chances for both.
If they don't ban that Emma Frost, I mean, at the same time though, TTK
Yeah, I know,
is just
right?
TTK is also just an insane strange too. Like, and Magni, I mean, it's just good luck with all those vanguards that TTK has in his pocket here. As the approach comes in from Sentinels, they don't have really much unless they build into the Supernova and Korova into that Fate of Both Worlds.
Yeah, this is going to be rough for them because they're going to have to win here to gain ult charge, but everything in the back pocket for 100 Thieves. They're feeling prepared and ready to go, and I agree, it's at the hands now. Right now, there's one great Terra, but TTK doing an incredible job. Delena, though, going for the quick execution, has to back off, go to the teams, and use those dashes precisely to get back to cover here. Now TTK a little bit under pressure. He gets to the lantern zone. That's what's so deadly.
Look at the repositioning right there too. They communicated, the invisible boundary came out, and TTK in the psionic seduction tries to pull everybody to them, but the Fate of Both Worlds comes in. The group hug coming in as well, together with Amazing and the damage output without having to use too many of these ultimates, because they want to carry that over to the next round after they got off the point from 100 Thieves in the very first one, and they're taking over this fight.
Crimzo showing how he can do it all there, no matter the hero, and just insane because they were so outnumbered, especially in terms of ult economy there. And now they're fully loaded. Now you got to win another point. So do you want to use it all? You know, it's going to come close here. They're going to have to do a good job as the portal comes in. TTK going from Emma Frost to the Sorcerer Supreme, pushing in early, and Delena looking for that early pick with the Dance of the Butterfly.
Time ticking away before retouching right here too. Terra has the reset with the Goddess of Death as Techie looks down and finds TTK, who tries to take to the skies without showing off that shield right on time though. Maybe broke it right beforehand before backing away though. Huge follow-up from Amazing, denying that of SJP. Nectar too, as Nectar with the Dance of Butterflies helps out Sentinels to take us to the third round.
Dunks the Galaxy on their hand and smashes the glass with it. Incredible job there. And then just good job with the Supernova from Human Torch of Amazing. I mean, the guy can play it all in the duelist department, but Flyers, he's just locked in so well. 24k damage right now, 9 elims, and looking at both sides, Vicky, I mean, golly, 30k damage from TTK. I mean, just absolute madness from what he's put out here. What do you think here we might see for point 3? Are they going to change anything up, or are they going to stay the same comps?
I feel like it was so close for the first round too, like we saw for that second round. I think just the re-engage and having those picks, especially that big meteor onto TTK when TTK made that swap over to the Strange, like those very impactful game-winning conditions that you lean into, just in terms of timing of those ultimates, is what really made a difference. But I also feel like the re-engage from 100 Thieves there at the very first round, and then looking at what they were able to push in before getting off the point, it was so close for them to take it, but then Sentinels were just on that point first. So I just think they stick to what they're doing here, and as you can already see, Techie coming in with the portal play.
Yeah, here it goes. They're taking the fight to them as Techie throws the portal in, and they're looking to get some cheeky elims now, throwing up the walls and the pressure with it. Terra being precise as always. He signs those thorns with his autograph and cursive, throwing out the graves. Now Techie popping in a little bit behind here, and they're going for the strategist back there. Can he get at least the lanterns out? But there it is. We've got Vinny throwing the blows there on Dr. Strange, but Amazing trades with it, but they go down with the Vanguard. That's going to be tough.
Yeah, also you lost on Mori rather early in that fight too, and you're just getting duped out by the FGC character that is Emma Frost, honestly, because that's what it feels like when you get command grabbed.
Just how good 100 Thieves are in the neutral. I mean, just incredible job, awareness, and just communication. Those comps, you know, are just spitting with lyrics here. As now Harvey, SJP both ready to go in the strategist front here. TTK getting close as well, Vicky. But we've seen it. Crimzo sometimes can do it all by himself, especially if he's got the dance floor to follow.
Also thinking about Harvey here, having that God of Mischief too. TTK still the problem that we've been seeing TTK be. Over to the other side though, Crimso's got the group hug, tries to get the follow-up push from the other side from SJP, as the Invisible Boundary is looking to try to keep everybody from 100 Thieves sustained.
Yeah, they've got the pressure there, trying to get the point cap, but they don't know. The grand finale does drop there, as well as the invisible boundary. And at this point, it's any teams to take here. Throwing down the Gru ult does not get the connection he wants or the follow-up. There's Amazing, but it's too little too late. Terra up in the sky, throwing it down here, trying to get the pop and the connection. And that's what he does so good, Vicky.
The actual environmental air boost, by the way, like I just saw a flying TTK at one point in that diamond form. I thought I was just seeing my sleep paralysis demon in the corner. Well, Terra gets another pick, gets Harvey right back in, and then follows up with Harvey and Korova. 100 Thieves now get to keep up on this point, with Sentinels only getting that 7% extra credit.
It's Infinity War out here, but both have hero plot armor. It's like, which team is going to take it? We're seeing the colors fly and the ultimates flash here, and it's just so close with these fights. But right now, 100 Thieves look like they've got it figured out, and they like where they got in terms of strategy. Remember, I told you, Vicky, a lot of this is going to come down to that pick ban phase, and the way they roll these games, it's coming down to micro decisions here. Delena hitting and farming just incredible ult charge here, going from 0 to 35 with ease.
Oh, with the Dance of Butterflies, though, to be started off from Nectar, who's been fantastic, by the way, on this Psylocke. Does not find anything or force out any of these ults, because there was no ults to force out from 100 Thieves. As they try to walk back in, the rest of 100 Thieves are giving them that space, but they could afford to do that, with Sentinels only now getting 10% plus.
Oh, this is going to be a big one from Techie. Can he land it? He's
nice.
the extra damage there on TTK, but that's where the Diamond Form comes into handy. Not only can you go with extra protection, but you can throw out the kicks and the choke like TTK does so well with another kick. And this is such a tough point to fight Emma on the point here with the rage up to 100. And this is looking rough now for Sentinels to take. Korova down, Crimso down, and it looks like Sentinels going to go down on that one.
Dude, that was so crazy. Like, TTK thought like 3 steps ahead right there. He set up the Emma Frost shield right on time before using the Psionic Seduction to hide behind it, while Terra, in the middle of seeing through that invisible boundary here from SJP, gets the snipe pick. And at the very end, 100 Thieves, they plant their feet on this point, and they confidently take game number 1.
Yeah, just absolute cinema from both teams there. And right now, again, there's only so much you can do after you've had heroes lost and gained, but 100 Thieves, they just played that to absolute perfection. You know, Vicky, the stats are going to tell a little bit of a better story, as Harvey, again, he says yesterday, I don't get to play him much, but when I do, oh man, can he absolutely eat, and he did so with Harvey, with Loki on that one. It's going to be 1 to 100 Thieves, and looking at the stats, I mean, there's a couple that stand out pretty heavily.
Yeah, TTK out here with 38k damage done. We had seen some swaps too, with Delena trying to portal right back in on that Doctor Strange, but dealing at least 26k damage, so 14 final hits, but then the 22 from Terra, as we saw Terra terrorize the skies. And then even looking on the other side, Amazing just continuously doing Amazing things. And I feel like Nectar, we've highlighted other heroes from Nectar, but the Psylocke really did come out.
Yeah, 14 deaths, though, that's tough. And I think the big story there, Vicky, TTK only got eliminated 6 times. I mean, that's such a big difference of presence. And you just said it best, right, with the Diamond Form. Like, so many times is Diamond Form used on aggression, but no, right there, he was prepared for the ultimates, and then he uses it to survive and then thrive as he pushes into the point, and ultimately helps him win that so well. I mean, when you've got some of the best players in the world on both Vanguard and Duelist, it just makes it so tough, even if your whole team is skilled to the nines.
He literally was living like rent-free, like 3 steps ahead, like predicted the meteor to come out just so that way you already have your shield out when you are stuck in the Psionic Seduction, so that way you could just hide behind your shield once the meteor comes in if you're getting autofocused, because TTK was a problem. Like Terra, obviously we saw Delena lighting up the skies. Like, if there isn't a target ban onto this Loki, because Harvey is just the embodiment of Loki, just like when we talk about Korova, like that is the Adam Warlock in my mind at the very least, but the Emma Frost and the Loki needs to be taken care of.
Yeah, I think Delena too is just often not talked about enough, because obviously he's on the same team as Terra. We see that in sports, right? There's a superstar, there's one really great player, because there's a fight going on in the background and in the back lines with Psylocke and just holy tracking. I mean, he's so good with his precision, and honestly, really just took it to Nectar on that particular map. and that's what cleaned up a lot of it and just opens up space. It opens up strategists to focus on their vanguards, and then you can keep rolling from there. So there's so much going on in hero shooters behind the scenes as well. Want to give the flowers to Delina on that map as he did some clutch eliminations. But Harvey taking over that MVP, 36,000 healing, 37 assists. This man, he can do it all. And both teams, pressure's off. Again, they're going to land, but they want this one. I'm telling you, Vic.
Yeah, it's all about the big money bags out here that they could focus on, and already taking that first map in our best of 5 is the best way to set yourself up for success here. Harvey popping off on the Loki. Again, not so surprised, but that's cycling with the Invisiwoman too, and that's without the Luna Snow being out.
Yeah, absolutely. And yeah, money's a lot, but I also think ego with both these teams. Like, they want to be known as that, like, team in America, right? And right now, they're both showing it, but 100 Thieves looking strong, and they're going to have to change up a little strategies. They've said they have spreadsheets behind the scenes. Crimzo, he's got an answer to everything that's giving them the big edge, and we've seen that thus far in the tournament, guys. Now, don't go anywhere. We're going into match 2, and if it's anything like the matches we've seen all of Ignite, it's going to be a good one. We'll be right back after this break. What's going on, guys, and welcome back from the break. You guys have seen it all today, but we've got more on the line. The 2-1 seeds are clashing. They did not get to meet each other in the group stage, Vicky, but here it is right now, the clash of the Titans.
It was going to happen eventually here, and this is the moment where we get to highlight the teams that have been able to improve through some changes that we've had within Marvel Rivals and showcasing consistency, because it's been back and forth thus far. It's kind of like that tiebreaker from the history of these two teams meeting, and we have to reference the issues that we saw in that first game specifically, because TTK, Terra, I mean, they were all a problem, but that Emma Frost, the Harvey Loki were all big issues. So now resorting over to that pick and ban phase, I'm wondering what we may see that may change.
Yeah, really, when you look at teams this good, it comes down just to so many small things. It's not gonna be as evident, right, when you see maybe a big gap in the seeding or the skill level. Right here, it's just the precise timing of when and how, not just ultimates, but like the cloak bubble, right, and just getting that out ahead of time, so then you can follow that out with something else. Sometimes we might commentate that Delina didn't get, you know, anything out of that Dance of the Butterflies, but they use that on purpose to try to bait out different things. So look for the small things, guys, in these matchups here. And again, just the tip of the cap that they have there for Crimzo on Captain America. I think they just think getting rid of that in the pool helps him so much, and they match it with Mag.
Oh, wow. Okay, and they immediately go for the save. Okay, it's going to be the Emma Frost v Emma Frost matchup now. This is going to be great. We're going to be duking it out in the front lines already, as the Luna Band is next.
Yeah, catfight at the Hellfire Gala. I mean, we have not seen Techie on a lot outside of Mag. I mean, he plays other things, but that's been his comfort pick, right, for now a few matches in a row. And so that's going to be interesting, getting rid of something that has been, you know, something they rely on in general here. On the other side of things, though, Luna going out, SJP gonna have to flex over once again, and I think they're gonna go with the same strat. I think they did like, and Harvey is obviously the definition of a god on Loki, but I think they like what they got.
Okay, and yeah, over to the Cloak and Dagger being gone, saving on that Loki. They want to be able to promote that for Harvey here. So they've saved both of the strongest assets that I was talking about. TTK and Harvey here side by side, while on the other side, they won't be able to use that Luna, that Cloak and Dagger, but they won't have that issue, while now Sentinels here on the other side are looking to save that Cloak and Dagger.
Yeah, and one big thing is Terra. This is what's so great about 100 Thieves. They can just swap on the dime, right? And Terra taking what was Delina's main role for now multiple tournaments going into Hella. And what have we seen? Harvey, one of the best strategists in the game, getting free revives. You can't make it up. It's such a good strategy there. But we do see Terra getting Wolverine. Hasn't got him often. This has been banned for him a lot.
Okay. Krova lingering. Oh, good. We're going to get a little quick restart, but Krova was lingering over on top of that Ultron, it looked like, too. So maybe seeing a different iteration of that triple comp. We'll have to wait and see as we move on over to Central Park for our second map.
Yeah, just reloading the graphics cards. They're trying to prep up for what's going to be an epic match here. I think one thing I like strategy-wise already, again, I think Sentinels, they're so well coached, but I like the idea of getting rid of the Magneto there for them and Captain America, leaving Wolverine open, and now Crimson on Groot has one of the biggest weaknesses in Rage Charge Up. This could be tough to counter.
That's a very good point, and I feel like the group also works hand in hand into helping out TTK for the reasons that I mentioned in the first game, where those walls just help build up into that beam damage and to allow it to stay up consistently, as TTK is always thinking those steps ahead, right? So having to worry about if you do want to commit to this group, it's great when it comes to trying to isolate how you approach this first point, depending on what side you start on too. I mean, I feel like it works from both sides, but specifically really helps out the defense side as we get ready and we see if that's what they're gonna really lean on. But it's been a lot of these focuses. It's kind of what can Crimson do in this case? They've been banning out the Captain America. That's been a really big focus target that hinders Sentinels.
Yeah, and when you ban, excuse me, when you ban 2 Vanguards like that, you leave open absolute everything in terms of duelists. Not one duelist ban that Sentinels have to go up against. So Amazing, he gets his pick of the litter. Human Torch, we know what that can do on Central Park here. So that, to me, is a little bit of a... It's a dangerous game, but I like that they're doing that and showing, hey, Amazing, play whatever you want. We still think we can beat you as we look at the predictions. And this one, way closer. Sentinels was through the moon on the last one.
Yeah, actually, this is what I was expecting for the first game here, and I was leaning towards 100 Thieves just looking at this series, and I love what we've had seen from Sentinels, okay? This is the moment where we get to see both these teams, again, showcase what they've been working on, the different levels of compositions, but the mind games literally start in this pick and ban phase, and if you see one player specifically popping off, we've been seeing a lot more often in the Ignite series across multiple regions, teams playing to their strengths. We've heard it in the interviews, play what you're comfortable with. That is usually what ends up working, and then you get these target bans instead to help enable you be comfortable.
Yep, absolutely. Especially what's cool to see too is kind of like with Self and Black Panther, we saw teams allow it and then they eventually started to ban it, right? Because they're like, all right, we're not going to give this one for free. 100 Thieves, they used to leave triple res to Sentinels. They're like, you know what, play it, we don't care. And now a little bit of a different story. They're focusing and shutting that down immediately. Obviously, they've done their homework. They've seen what they've done so far in the playoffs. As, again, our players get ready, we get those bans back locked up here. But yeah, looking across the board, Loki getting shut down for them time after time, and 100 Thieves saving that Loki, Vic. You've made a great point. That's going to be a big difference maker.
It's just when I was looking at this series, when I was getting set up with my notes, like Harvey's just an insane Loki. Not only is a healing output usually always there, whereas I'm actually surprised, like he obviously got MVP for a reason, but we actually usually see like the numbers higher up the ladder. I wonder if it's because maybe no Luna on the table, which, you know, you get the copy, the Luna Fate of both worlds always boosts and inflates those numbers, but Harvey is the survivability. I mean, the clip that Harvey posted that we had covered yesterday, the placement and timing for those lamps too, and not getting baited, by the way, because a lot of times a lot of teams try to bait out your specific Loki player into putting out those lamps early, so that way they know that you have no ability to retreat towards getting some health to help out a tank that may be overextended, and it kind of isolates you on a cooldown that they take full advantage of. And in this case, Harvey is just so in control on this Loki.
Yeah, that's a good point. And honestly, looking towards Loki, usually the counter that we've seen lately, right, step up to the plate, has been that Bucky, that Winter Soldier swap. And not saying they can't play it over there in Sentinels, but Amazing, we just don't see him play a lot of that. I think back, maybe Super Gomez did a little bit. Nectar, I'm sure, can. But that is a big win con against a killer Loki that is Harvey. As we begin, we kick right into the action here. Crimso's got a cam today. Hello, what's up, Crimso? As now the team pushing in is Sentinels on the offense.
Was it Techie that had the camera just pointing at the roof? I just felt like, oh, okay, I was gonna say that radiates with me. I completely understand all the emotions in that phase, but looking on the other side and trying to split up some of the attention from 100 Thieves, Amazing together here, side by side with one of his other teammates, are just trying to split some of that focus, looking at Delena too, over to the other side, but specifically 100 Thieves are doing this just so that way Amazing could get focused, the Invisible Woman to try to pull him in.
Yeah, we're going to see here and test the flexibility. Again, Techie has not played a lot of other heroes. Nice pick there for Nectar on Terra. Techie has not played a lot outside of Magneto, so to swap over to the Emma, it looks like he's doing just fine in diamond form as he takes out TTK beautifully. And Amazing doing a good pressure job as well. Great job here. Let's see if we get the strange switch, or they're going to let the point go. They are putting forward the pressure, but great group wall. They're pushing forward and they get the point.
The big difference out here is that in that first game, Techie could not play the Emma Frost because it was banned against them. This time they ended up saving it because they know that if they they don't want to use up a ban onto TTK. It's Techie that thinks that Techie could diff TTK on this AMER Frost Ditto.
Yeah, just a great answer to what was the Magneto ban, too. I mean, you know, that got rid of probably a little bit of strategy, and they were able to answer it there as Amazing trying to not only survive from the back line, that is Delina, but also trying to get that pick here. Delina, nice job with that tracking here as he continues to build up. 71% now to the ult, but both sub ults ready for Sentinels. You got the dance floor and the Fawn, and it starts with the Brisbane from Crimso throwing it up, but the invisible boundary going up, keeping him alive. Nectar trying to get a piece of it, and does.
Even better, though, for them, because it forced out the invisible boundary, which is the green light for Nectar to try to push in together with the team up of the AMER Frost and the Dance of Butterflies, but does not find anybody, while TTK and the Silent Seduction gets cut off by a giant wall, works into some cover as the fire from the sky, Amazing, putting everybody in the fire blender.
Yeah, exactly what we were saying, right? Using someone like Nectar to get the dance out there, to get the cooldowns out, and then Amazing can clean up. Oh, it gets stuck on the pillar, cannot get out, but Delina cleaning up, but it's going to be the other Psylocke and Nectar that gets the last laugh, as now we have Sentinels pushing towards the point, but you can see 100 Thieves, they're pushing fast here. Terra swapping a Wolf.
Trying to block off the other sides here, having to make some of these swaps and hold that next corner. They're able to, with ease, get to this first checkpoint. Look at that time bank that they have to work with, Cozy.
Yeah, and honestly, a lot of that was just great ult usage, right? Again, they did the dance, and then even though you have both Immas going at the same time, you've got Supernova up in the sky. Amazing! Living up to the name. He's amazing. Incredible job there. He's on a rampage.
I just witnessed the murder out here. Terra did get a little bit of revenge, but Crimso also fell to their demise at the hands of TTK. Some little bit of a taste of your own medicine here, while still having so much of this space coming up here for Sentinels.
I was gonna say, but at what cost? But the spawn room's a lot closer for them. It's about actually medium here, so either way you look at it, but it's a Vanguard going down and a big one at that here as Amazing up in the sky. You would think he's on the other part of the spawn because he's pushing towards them, throwing them down, getting them their space. There's 4 minutes on this clock, Viking Sentinels with all the bit prepared with the 4-piece.
We are Groot to follow up with Crimso bringing everybody together in the group hug. Nectar, the shish kebab coming out just to clear up even more space. They have not been stopped here, by the way. 4 minutes, 20 seconds on the clock, and Korova still has that Luna Snow ult.
Yeah, and Nectar with just these dashes of precision, and now we've got dance execution going on. He gets 1, now 2, he's stepping, and there's, my God, the most time I've seen on the clock, not against 100 Thieves, but against most teams.
Dance de-evolution, more like it. They were trying their best out here. You're having your party off on the fate of both worlds, but that got shut down. What a walk in the park with a massive time bank in favor for, and this is the night and day difference too, right? Techie's been putting in a lot more focus onto TTK. Amazing, though, I think it's also important to talk about Central Park, allowing itself to have a lot more verticality and having the positional advantage to be able to get out of the line of sight for a lot of these different teams.
Again, when you have somebody that's great at something, or a team, let's say Triple Res, Captain America, you lose out other bands. And I told you, a little bit of disrespect there to the duelists of Sentinels. They said, hey, we're not gonna, you can play whatever you want. Play whatever you want. And they did, Vicky, and they played with excellence.
I just really love how this advanced band system that we have in place just brings out so many different compositions for every single game. We get to see every different character played at such a high level that counterpicks on counterpicks to roll out without using all your ultimate to then re-engage. But looking at the stats, the fact that only 2 members of Sentinels have gone down further highlights how strong of a push that was.
Yeah, and you know what's interesting to me is they have Ultron open. Oftentimes you've got the torch going off, right? Ultron's going to be open right there in the back line. But typically it's Amazing that plays the Ultron, right? So then you would have to give the torch to Nectar, which we've seen a little bit. But maybe they switch up with Delina now, swapping to the Age of Ultron, ready to go. And look at that freeze from way downtown.
Oh, dang. Literally, like, so far down the lane here, but Vinny moving all the way up here, just trying to control a lot more of that space, but having to look right above them. I believe you see Nectar just putting in a little bit more of that poke pressure. Amazing, though, still doing amazing things and being the problem in the sky as Terra tries to get a kidnap.
Yeah, beautiful job there now with just great pressure and great hold. He sets up the walls and putting tons of flames on the path. He's roasting, he's toasting, he's making a barbecue as now he's pushing in Nectar here. Doing a good job getting that sustained poke in. 35% ult, building up nicely here. AMER close, but even closer is Harvey as they push in.
Talk about flexibility, Nectar always comes to mind. They've been performing so well here, putting in the poke pressure though, and the lamps come up. Terra gets a follow-up after getting the kidnap onto Crimzo. No wall saving you, while wrapping around was Nectar, witnessing everything from the front row. Crimzo makes the quick swap, it looks like, onto that Doctor Strange portal right back in, because they have to recontest as 100 Thieves walk up.
Yeah, great job. The Delina going to Winter Soldier a lot in season 1 and 0. Good to see it back on the hero. And there's the kidnap from Terra right away on Crimzo, just trying to survive. A good strategist play there. And Nectar with the quick dash and swipe. Harvey going down, and they may get this back.
Oh no, and that was with SJP also going down right afterwards. Nectar popping off, nearing that dance of butterflies, which by the way, unnecessary. Waits for the opportunity to then find Terra right afterwards.
The ballet of blades. I mean, incredible job. I thought after the kidnap, you know, Crimzo was going to be struggling there, but just awesome awareness from the team of Karova and AMER to keep them up. Nectar thirsty for more here, looking at the parade. Oh my gosh, almost getting Harvey the leader.
Nectar damage output needs to be studied. Look at SJP caught in the line of sight. That's a projection. The pull in though, great awareness. I'll peel for your backline. Invisible boundary called in just to try to negate the damage output from Nectar and that dance of butterflies, while TTK puts a kick to the face of Nectar. The group hug coming in from the group ult, as well as Delena, who tried to use that ultimate earlier, gets interrupted in the middle of that psionic seduction. Big plays here from Techie. This is the difference maker when you get to save that Emma Frost.
Oh my goodness. Now, you had a huge Agamotto, but then you've got Terra throwing up and down the Wolverine as he slashes, he dashes. Wow. My God, to pick up the slam down, no questions.
We saw they swap up there too, while TTK comes and starts continuously kicking everybody as 100 Thieves finally get this payload moving.
Yeah, Sentinels put up a little of an electric fence there on Terra, but now he's off the leash. He's going crazy. We knew we would see it eventually here. Good job. But hey, Sentinels, 4 minutes on the clock. They're going to have to play with perfection, 100 Thieves, and we'll see what happens now as pushing forward. Vinny has something. Wow, the big kidnap and the Terror and dash. No. As he can't get out.
Oh my, every single time I see these Wolverine plays, man, it just looks like a crime out here. Pushing up with the Eternal Bond to then get that pick and the pressure onto Harvey. He's always consistent with those. The Terror cape to then provide some extra help here. Techie was stunned because Terror on the other side of these group walls is slicing and dicing.
Yeah, I mean, Terra making a human torch, human toast now, but tearing it up in the backline. Video, good trade-off and great call there with AMER, just always on the Terra cape, just being incredible at what she does in both consistent healing and damage. That's right, amazing. Burning down that tree, as we say it best here, 99 fire making over there, or wood cutting, you pick your poison.
Depends here of how much we're cooking. Hopefully we don't burn any food so that way we can get level 99 cooking instead. As you see the burst damage coming out, getting into position, the dance of butterflies online for Nectar as it's a first thing activated, jumping in, saying TTK wait, the diving fork coming out, forces Nectar to back away at the very end of that dance of butterflies.
Yeah, slices and dices there, and honestly just good team awareness, not using the invisible boundary, because here comes the supernova. You're going to need it for that, but Nectar getting rid of Harvey. That's huge because the ult was ready, and now it's going to be a lot of pressure pushed onto this team, and all on SJP as he keeps the team up here. And there's the kidnap, though. He's taking the tree back and slashes Crimzo down.
Isolating Crimzo again. It's the group, man. You have such a big hurt box, and then Terra comes diving in like a torpedo into your back line, slices you like a pair of toast. You're talking about the fire from the sky, but it's just been extinguished.
In China, at lands, we need a rage meter on Terra because it happens real time. He's just like Wolverine. Like, the anger he gets, the better he plays. And he puts this team, quite literally, it's a hero shooter. They're all together, but on the back at times as he's slicing and dicing, pushing forward. Vinny, though, one of the best at Groot, throwing it in now. There's only 1 minute and 36 seconds. The Groot wall separates. The prison goes down, Vicky.
Oh, and everybody goes in for the group hug, but the immediate retaliation to keep everybody alive from Harvey and the God of Mischief. This enables Delena in disguise, hiding behind that invisible barrier here. Looking behind them, too. They get to the checkpoint. Nectar falls next, and even though they were trying to contest it, a little too late.
Yeah, they did use a lot in the on the system there. SJP and Terra close to it. We do have an internal bond to push things. Only 2 minutes and 34 seconds. That's tough on this point because there's a lot of stalling you can do. But typically, sometimes we've only seen just one fight can get it done, depending where each team meets each other. Terra, he's hunting. He's on the prowl. Animal channel on. We've got the narrator. Can he feast on some prey?
Over to your left, you'll see the wild Terra preying on the next victim on this kidnap. Terra slowly approaching that Wolverine ult as they find the 1v1, and the next victim with the follow-up from SJP, who has an invisible boundary. Techie here duking it out in the diamond form, moving up like they're on the catwalk as SJP gets the push onto Crimzo on the bridge, off the map. Big picks here while Ryan Mason still terrorizes Dylan and Harvey.
Throwing down, my gosh, Terra showing the circle of life, just craziness. I think it's SJP2 with the 3-4, kidnap in the air, slice, nice. My gosh, they're gonna have one more chance here to hold this in. Minute 37 seconds left. I mean, who do you want to highlight? Pick your poison because they all did great, but SJP showing his inner Jedi there with the push and the finish.
I think it's even funnier that you could still see the Terra Punisher, but it's completely unnecessary because Crimzo has just been falling victim to this Wolverine. Everybody with Rymazing being in the sky. You don't just need hit scan out here. The Wolverine works just the same if you're accurate and trying to get these kidnaps.
Here we go. We have Nectar going in. Rymazing supernova time ready to go, but the kneeling is happening. TTK, one of the best at it here, throwing, separating the team is fire. Tornadoes. Which team has the fire in them to ignite the win here as they push forward? Crimzo gets kidnapped, but he goes in.
Wow.
The enemy territory that spells danger. And oh my God, what a beautiful finish.
And that was just a follow-up combo, by the way, from Harvey and the God of Mischief, and in that invisible boundary, the pull in right after the communication right now from 100 Thieves. I would love to be in that room. Yes, they don't have that same time bank, but they were able to push up little by little and win every single trade.
Yeah, honestly, like even with points of momentum going, Rymazing got a 2-piece heading in there, but it didn't matter because Terra does what he does best. But every single person there played to absolute excellence. Again, we said there's that kind of home court advantage of being in a boot camp. Both teams, they're together in person, screaming, hollering. They want this. Can they get it?
Man, these games are so good. I love Marvel Rivals. This has been fantastic here. It looks like Terra's still going to be able to stick on that Wolverine. It's been so entertaining because not only do you have to like consider the environmental like just warning that you have on that bridge by that stairwell, but the Invisiwoman push follow-ups that we have seen already, very consistent as we take a look at the scoreboard. 11 final hits in favor for Terra, but that's all been enabled here with some help from Harvey out here with a 33k healing thus far, and then the 15 final hits from Nectar, as we've also been talking about the damage output from Nectar, but then you combine that with Rymazing in the sky, you could be the brightest in the sky, and Nectar is right there on the ground to finish up where Rymazing started.
Yeah, taking the team went down, but taking the player showing that he can match TTK in terms of performance here as we're looking close neck to neck. Every single performance going to matter. And 100 Thieves on that last one, they did a 6-man group project and everybody did their part for the first time, right? Compared to school. It's now Terra ready for the fastball special. They're throwing in their best player. He's looking for more and he almost gets the scoop on Rymazing, narrowly missing.
It's like a horror movie. Like you just have to back away and give Terra some respect at the same time. It's the Terra show, really. 100 Terras. It just sounds like a terrible thing and a scary thing to deal with if you're on the opposite side. Then you have all these members of 100 Thieves giving them that support. Sentinels, though, playing a great split-up position, though, specifically to help Rymazing put in a lot more of this damage through this choke.
Absolutely. Here is now Vinny trying to get some pressure on early. And again, 24 seconds, not a lot left. The team ults are far from coming here. Both teams are going to have to win in the neutral and push forward. And right now, it's going to be 100 Thieves with the pressure on. Can get the first elimination. Terra, he's thirsty for more. 100 Rage, 100 Thieves as he pushes forward now. 2 going down in vain of the Vanguards, Vicky.
This is the difference between having a Loki and not having a Loki. Loki getting their ultimate so quick while the kidnap commences. Terra finds Techie. No safety as Aramorni unleashes the eternal bond. The invisible boundary now from SJP. They cycled that together. They get right back to health as the Groot ult came out just a little late. And 100 Thieves with the timing of those ultimates now just completely taking care of Sentinels. And it was just 2 ultimates too.
That is master class in terms of how you take a point in overtime. Vinny, are you kidding me? Too, the perfection of the walls, the cutoffs, the slam downs, insanity, the old combos. This is the best CGI budget I've seen in a Marvel film as they're pushing forward here. They've got, I mean, everything with them.
You can ban the torch out here, but you have to consider the kitty that is Wolverine coming to play. 100 Thieves have so much ready to go to contest for this next fight too, and Sentinels really only have the supernova. The psionic seduction is going to be big. No way! TTK to get the finishing blow. Terra is on. Terra needs to be stopped. He's doing all of this, by the way, with a messed up hand.
He got the kidnap mid-freaking air during the supernova. There's a slim sliver left, and they're pushing it now to the second point. They don't even need time. They just have dominance now. The squirrels, look at the face, the emotion. That's the viewer live look as we're pushing in now, and they're right now. Sentinel, they don't know what to do right now. They don't have much in the tank. Techie's the only one.
Yeah, and they don't really have anything to sustain themselves too against the onslaught of damage that's about to come out from 100 Thieves, because Delena has the goddess of death and gets a 4K. Sentinels in shambles, and Delena just wipes the whole team.
It's they all call a piece of it, right? It's Terra, then it's Delena with the 5-piece.
That's me right now.
He fell over the squirrel. Can't believe it. Delena just removing the words from the crowd here as the team pushes forward. Can they get a 3-cap on this?
With no time, they didn't need the time. Remember, they had the lackluster time back compared to Sentinels in their 4 minutes, and Vinny's got the group hug ready to go. Sentinels trying to play split on the very top of the stairs, holding that slight high ground. Well, Terra gets another. How is Terra doing this so consistently?
Absolute perfect job here, 100 Thieves. They want more. They've gotten 2.5. That's a lifetime. Keep in mind, Sentinels have 4 minutes and 26 seconds. They're going to need all of that to match this effort thus far. This is the only thing to keep 100 Thieves in it, and they're doing exactly that as Supernova goes up. Amazing is looking to go down here as Terra's trying to slice and find some more. He's up to 100. 100 Thieves, 100 Terra pushing through. Techie, though, Amazing to follow. They get him off the point, but my God, Vicky.
That was all started because they lost out on the Emma Frost when the invisible boundary was put up, but unfortunately Emma Frost was right outside that invisible boundary, and then you get kicked off the map from the other side by the Emma Frost. I mean, they could have really gone the distance right there too. They were slowly approaching those ultimates. I
can't. They always live up to the call. You need a 4-minute style push to match what Sentinels can do on that first offensive push, and they get it done. I mean, an absolute clinic from 100 Thieves, starting from the first point there, and it starts with that kidnap from the supernova to slow down momentum. Ult's so important in this game, but even more so in overtime with everything on the line here. And here we go, taking a look at the stats. We're going to see some video game numbers from this one, quite literally here as we check out the jobs done. And pick your poison.
The thing is that, like, even though you're seeing Terra still with the highest amount of final hits to match that together with Nectar, it's about playmaking opportunities with this Wolverine, and it's a lot of this coming in together with Harvey and SJP. The survivability right there between the Loki and Invisiwoman, they've been cycling really well between that too. And then you look on the other side, you have Korova being on that Luna, you have the Cloak and Dagger. The survivability is also there, but you can't really help out your team when they're getting kidnapped by Terra on that Wolverine, and that's with a flyer being on the opposing team, and they don't even need a Punisher or Bucky.
Yeah, I mean, we've said this before with Wolverine, right? He's not flanking, he's hunting. Terra is hunting for some prey as he looks upon the heroes going for him. Now, this is going to be tough because Sentinels, they just have to play somewhat well. If they do the exact same thing they did on the first point there, they can definitely get the points and maybe the win here, but this is going to be tough with the way that they're playing right now. We've got trees going up, Vinny pushing forward here, and Sentinels, they got to go full aggression.
Oh, they're holding just back just because we poke pressure just to build up into some of these ultimates, but 100 Thieves playing with confidence, looking at what Sentinels is bringing out, still sticking to what was working for them prior. Techie taking a good amount of that damage, so that's some help from TTK to build into that beam.
And looking for it here, Crimson. Uh-oh, dazed and confused here. 49% AMER looking close, but again, Harvey's just always I gotta say, Loki's ult, it takes some time to charge that, but now he's at 92% already answering the call as Delina gets Techie down and a lot of the momentum with it. Right, does get Harvey down, but of course, right after some good, Terra, you can't evade him. He's inevitable.
When you find the Loki, you know Loki being able to get that ultimate first online, that's going to be your primary target for these. Oh my goodness, Techie just looked at Delina. Delina didn't even have chance to look behind them. You see the portal coming out, Techie coming right back in after getting that pick, and this is going to be big as they try to push up AMER with the Eternal Bond into the Terra Cape and then the bread and butter into finding that KO.
A surgical play there from Techie for the Doctor Strange, living up to the occupation here as the portal comes in. And last time this portal came, Vicky, they did not get it, as AMER, though, does get the silence on Delina. And they don't want to use too much, right? They're still playing the tank, but they don't want to use it all right here, but they might have to as the invisible boundary goes up. Now Kurova throwing the dance floor down.
Oh, but they used the invisible boundary from the Loki a little too late while Terra had gone down with the Wolverine ult. But you know how it is with Wolverine in general. You don't kill Logan, you just buy time before round 2 as Nectar dances right back. Amazing gets picked up. A little bit of a number disadvantage here, but Sentinels do have these 2 ultimates, and they've already knocked off half the time that they built up.
In 100 Thieves, they've got 3 left in the tank. Now make it 2, but either way, Vinny about to be on the 3rd yet again as Terra slicing, dicing, Techie going down fast, and this is just rough. I mean, I can't believe my eyes. We saw a 5-minute hold from Sentinels on this point. Now we're seeing a 4-minute response from 100 Thieves. Absolute crazy.
It's just so confident the way that they've been playing this methodical too. They know that right now their position that they're holding gets oh, he just got another kidnap. He just got another Terra. The way that that looked up to the side of the screen, and then the follow-up from Delina too, being on the Doctor Strange.
Yeah, there's just not enough to say about that. Look how calm he is too. Up goes down with the Berserker Rage now, and again, he's locked at 100 rage at all times. The man is absolutely an animal as he gets them all.
Dude, the claws came out, and so did the other team's trauma right now. Because it's like me seeing that the PTSD is real. I'm gonna be hearing the way that he just slices around with his claws in my sleep. That's my face right now, exactly like that. The squirrel on over to the other side, just watching Terra continuously get these kidnaps. Right, Amazing's looking at every corner, like, is it safe? Where is he? Where is he? He's looking behind him. He knows.
Yeah, claws out here. There it is again. It's like on repeat. Same result every time. Right, Amazing Supernova Terra with the tear down. He's insane.
Amazing's like, I know it feels like somebody's watching me. Well, yeah, you're absolutely right. The follow-ups, the communication is there. They walk up. Nectar then finds Harvey, though. That's a great first pick here. That was after the Loki ult was used. The follow-up as Nectar opens the door to keep Sentinels in this fight.
45 ults later, the point is taken in 4 minutes off the clock. I mean, I just, insane job. Even with that first initial pressure, I'm like, oh, wow, you know, good job getting some stall. Gonna be tough for them to make it through it. Now they have to have a perfect performance, and how the hell are they gonna do that when Terra is at 99, making 100% ult, 100% rage? This is about to be 100% win, potentially.
Moving up, though, having to control the space. Crimzo does not have that group hug just yet. Sentinels don't really have much compared to where 100 Thieves were at when they were able to claim that point, move around that next corner. They literally had, like, what, 4 ultimates, and now 100 Thieves pushing back around. Terra's the only one with the ultimate to try to knock them off.
As they move in here, overtime already on the clock. That's what 100 Thieves had to work with the entire time. They got the job done. Now Sentinels, will they answer the call? Terra, he is terrifying. He's throwing up his damage reduction, trying to go for the hunt there. He goes, slices, dices, goes for Crimzo, kidnaps him yet again. He's got 100 kidnaps to his name. Harvey trading with Crimzo. Time is ticking. Up, down, the ult. We see it again. We see it again. It's the Kraken impact, but it's on Wolverine.
Thank you for banning Magneto. No bubble, no safety for you. Instead, all you have to deal is with these claws, sending Terra out like he's a Pokemon sent out for 100 Thieves to completely hold back Sentinels.
Terra, I swear, there's 151 originals. Got to catch them all. Terra's just trying to get 151 kidnaps by the end of this. Hey, I said it when we went into that, Vicky, that the ban plan going in, you could see it. They got rid of the Vanguards. Crimzo had to flex to group. And what did we just see? We saw Terra eat it up on Wolverine, and it's exactly what I thought we would see going in. But then Sentinels respond with the 4-minute hit. Doesn't matter.
Dude, that was like watching a controlled explosion just wearing cargo pants and that beautiful big mask. Like, most traumatic moment, by the way, for Logan. And here comes Terra just like taking it out on everybody in this lobby. 51 KOs, by the way. Well, TTK, I highlighted TTK a lot in the first game. Looking at the Terra show with the Wolverine though, well, TTK, silent but deadly. Maybe not so silent when you have that big beam that just gets bigger and bigger with your damage output, but TTK's damage output is always consistently higher than either Terra's or is the highest in the entire lobby with this AMER Frost.
The adjustments, 100 Thieves, they feel like they've got what we've highlighted for so many teams all combined into one, right? It's the coaching, it's the play, it's the talent, and the adjustments. I mean, how much better can you get at adjustments than losing and getting absolutely stomped in the first push? I mean, Vicky, let's call it what it was. It was pretty disgusting. Sentinels just push it right down their throats. And then they change a couple of things. Terra, you know, he gets his rage built up. It was at maybe 50%. It goes to 100 and bam, it's done.
I'm just thinking about Rymazing. Like, think about the mental, right? Like, as a competitor, you're getting ready for your next map. Like, did Rymazing even have the opportunity to play the game in those last 2 rounds?
Honestly, no. I mean, if he was not eliminated or dead, he was just looking for Terra. And then Terra was always around the corner that, you know, he wasn't expecting. It's like watching a MCU film and you're like, oh, surely, you know, Thanos is not going to win, but he does. He's inevitable. It's Terra. And they did it. SJP with the MVP. How fitting. 49K.
You know, I'm not over Rymazing looking for Terra, and it's like Terra just living rent-free in Rymazing's head right there. Like, you could see the fear, the way he kept trying to break his neck. But yeah, SJP coming through with the Invisible Woman, and that's side by side from what we had seen with Harvey, right? The follow-ups with this invisible boundary, always on point. But SJP with the timing on these invisible boundaries were fantastic. I mean, it really took the AMER Frost from the opposing side, from Techie specifically, to try to force a lot of these individual members outside of the invisible boundary, which is where we saw some picks actually in the very beginning.
American Horror Story featuring Terra. I mean, that's what that felt like. We're months away from October, but it felt like amazing. Again, nightmares in the sleep. 2-0 right now. We thought this one was going to go back and forth, and honestly, it has a little bit there. But right now, the win-loss is they're telling the story. 100 Thieves, they need one more to advance to the grand final, sending Sentinels down to the lower bracket where they'll face either Shroud X or Envy, our next map. I'm drenched in sweat. Like, this is insane. Can't believe it coming off the game, and this is nuts.
Was it you and I that had this team like taking it, right? I believe so. It was like 100 Thieves. We thought it was gonna possibly go like 3-1 or so, but it's just been dominating.
Yeah, I think I had 3-2 100 Thieves taking it at the end of my predictions, right? And right now, I mean, I'm not even like my own prediction because it looks like it could just be a full sweep. But hey, guess who got reverse sweep? It was Sentinels. They could do it right back to 100 Thieves. Don't go anywhere. We're going to go to match number 3. What's going on, guys, and welcome back from the break. While you guys were gone, I went to Cameo. I saw if maybe Hugh Jackman could just say, hey, you can have my role. I mean, like, it deserves it at this point, Terra, with the performance there. But also, Vicky, we have not seen, as we're going into this next match, we have not seen Sentinels have both Cap and Mag out, and this game plan is working to every bit of their favor. I can promise you that the yellow and blue is being banned. As we look at Terra's player stats, look at this.
Dude, it literally 51 and 8. Like, are you kidding me? The 20 final hits on top of it all, and then you also have to like consider like your eyes watering when you get beamed from behind by TTK. Then Delena just from afar, just pinging you from afar, whether it be on the Hela or whoever else Delena's been playing, like to the Psylocke too, because just the damage output, it sneaks up on you, and then the follow-ups are there. Terra with these kidnaps, I mean, this is what happens when you don't have a Magneto, right? When you don't have those bubbles, Magneto being banned for both of these teams, and I don't believe either of these teams have a Hulk, right? So that would be like the extra bit of a cherry on top when it comes to trying to protect yourself from a lot more of these kidnaps.
Yeah, I mean, the man gets 50 limbs like it's nothing. I mean, he constantly gets it. He doesn't even play on the main server all the time. He's always on just the competitive server there because he likes it there. Like, to keep himself entertained, does he set new bars? Like, I don't know, but right now the bar is set pretty dang high. Rymazing, by the way, he died 17 times. I would say about 15 of those were via kidnap.
literally did not get to play those last 2 rounds. Like, Amazing started like seeing demons living rent-free in his head, was looking behind them, looking for the ghost, and currently right now 100 Thieves just need to take 1 more game to be moving on into the grand finals.
Yeah, and that's what a way. We saw yesterday what Amazing could do. The Jarvis clip, that how he can carry their team so well. It was the Amazing show yesterday, and the game plan going in, I said both these teams are going to be prepared. Remix, he's got these boys ready to go because they just completely put on a clinic on Amazing, shutting down Sentinels with him.
Looking to see the change-ups here as the Magneto ban comes into place. That's going to be Sentinels looking at 100 Thieves while they get to save the AMER.
Now looking here again, same game plan. Why switch it up? You would have to think Wolverine is going to go here. The MSA perfect. Love it for TTK. What they've been doing, obviously, as we highlighted before, the damage numbers insane. 53 eliminations. If you thought 51 was crazy, 53 there from TTK. The man is just a menace no matter who he plays on. Now, in my opinion, just the Terra, and you hear about Nevix, you hear about Sparker in EMEA, but right there with him, this is why LAN is so awesome, because I think we've got 2 of the best on this team. It's insane here. Low-key fan.
I can't even believe, like, you bringing that up just gets me so hyped, because who knows, like, what is even going to happen when the Clash of Titans at this point just comes together in an environment like this, as the Luna, the Torch is off the table, the Loki being protected, though, once again, playing to those strengths. We see TTK popping off on this Emma Frost. Harvey obviously has been a very important asset with the Loki, and even if they decide to, well, they did decide to ban the Luna, they won't have the combination of the Loki Luna, but SJP being on this Invisible Woman has just allowed them to really thrive.
There goes Wolverine. We knew it was going to happen. Again, as Qui-Gon Jinn said, there's always a bigger fish, right? There's always these titans in esports, but there's always a bigger fish. There's always somebody to take them down. Gonna be fun to see it clash here. Got the save for Mori on Cloak and Dagger. I think that was good and important for them as they've lost access to Loki at this point, but the triple res being shut down again. 100 Thieves sticking to the same game plan.
Sentinels, though, if they want to, they could utilize the Torch at some point. We're going to have to see if maybe that's what Amazing leans into, because for the first time, I believe we don't see the Torch ban onto them. But no Mantis, obviously, no res comp that Sentinels have a lot of strength on. Obviously, still getting target ban, too, from Crimzo and that Captain America. But if you're Groot, the last thing you want to think about is that Wolverine, which is why they prioritize knocking Wolverine away from here.
Look at Amazing. He has access to Human Torch, but he's like, nah, I'm going to go to Jarvis. You can have, I mean, again, 100 Thieves are saying, Jarvis, give Amazing all the armor, whatever he chooses, and he does choose Tony Stark. He's going with Iron Man here. We saw yesterday, or if you didn't see yesterday, absolute chaos erupted. Amazing was able to get some huge shots there. And even after that domination, it's still razor-thin margins.
Yeah, 60 to 40%, although we saw the change up from you guys in the chat for that first game, but I love how we've been able to see this develop across the last 2 games alone. Now going into this 3rd game, man, it's just been so insane to see the growth from both these teams, bringing into a different composition, these advanced target bans too. So we get to see the Scroll having their own little solo one-off as a pianist.
And they are going to be looking to create a symphony, hitting every note, every elimination. Right, Mason, we have not seen him play Magic since season 0. Maybe it's just a quick pick for some picks here. As a, wow, man, love seeing some Magic. He's going immediately for the Raccoon. We've seen to let it go to this before here as they're putting the pressure right away. These teams, they like to spawn camp whenever you're on defense here with the triple Vanguard, triple support approach.
Oof, just duking it out, finding some of these trades here. 2 away, make it 3 off of Sentinels. Great hold here. 100 Thieves, though, knocking them down as the Sentinels have that spawn room advantage right behind them and taking out Terra.
I gotta say, Ego Death is probably feeling pretty good, even though they got eliminated. They're like, hey, we played this team pretty well. I mean, they saw this exact comp yesterday. Terra, the Terrible, was on the thing, going into the ring, throwing the haymakers as he does. Now he's going to Emma Frost. I haven't seen that yet as TTK on the Strange.
And he's literally a professional diddle, just flexing through these different oppressive Vanguards, the triple Vanguard, the triple support coming out to re-engage. The Terror Cape to follow up. Harvey slowly approaching that ultimate, but SJP needs to stay alive. Over to the side, stuck in the corner though. Techie understanding the assignment, noting what to focus on first, as Sentinels did not have to waste any of those ults to win that fight.
Bringing them right into limbo. Right, amazing. Great job in the neutral at that, Vicky. They didn't have to use anything to claim that. About to have all 6 online, like the dang Power Rangers going morphin time. They've got Dark Child here for some quick hits. Dark Child can pop off with the correct support. They don't have the mag, though, to keep it alive, so they're going to have to do something, maybe the Eternal Bond to give them the path to victory.
Do you have that to at least sustain themselves to pave that pathing? As you can see it right there, it's gonna be off of SJP though, and the God of Mischief, as Techie uses that choke grab to just get out of sight, just to close in the distance with the rest of Sentinels. By the way, it is also crazy to see that Ryan Amazing sticking to this magic, something that we don't ever really get to see at all, and still finding these picks while having that magic ultimate and looking for an opportunity to follow with Nectar.
We talked about their flexibility. We're seeing it right here. By the way, Techie with the sick tech jumping on that bus as now they're going in, and there's Mason with the slice of the dice. It's not Wolverine, it's Magic, and Dark Child's still ready to pop off here. Not using the ult, but just getting the job done is the whole team here. And again, we saw this on Central Park. They had an incredible push. They've got 4 minutes here. Insane surprise job on the Magic.
Hovered over the Iron Man, the Magic this time. Is there anything Amazing can't play at this point? I mean, yes, you wanted to stick to that torch that last game, but you can tell Amazing's upset. Playing to the strengths, too, of Midtown specifically, especially when you're up close and personal by the second point.
Absolutely, here is now pushing in here. We've got Sentinels going all gas, rip the bricks straight off after that performance. Again, if they lose here, they are down to the lower bracket. As Terra with this, oh my gosh, grapple the hook, he gets 2, he's fishing out there. My God, gotta catch them all, Vicky.
Yeah, I mean, you know what? If it's not the Wolverine that gets the steal, Delena then comes up instead and gets the follow-up, finding 2 more. It's Terra being on the Bucky. You don't even need the Wolverine to get the kidnap. Terra can just do it with everybody.
He's playing mystery heroes at this point. And again, the unsung roles got to get some love too. I mean, the Vanguard play, just perfection. Harvey and team SJP got 3 picks there. Incredible job at Loki and that flexibility that we're seeing here. But guess what? Crack and impact. As if Terra wasn't the avalanche enough. He's got...
Oh my God! No way! The group hug. It's a Amazing being the shish kebab. They felt that. They took that personal, Cozy.
I swear it's server admin. Like, Terra just completely knew what was coming there, and that's just what you look for. They've got everything, by the way, that they need for this defensive effort, though. 2 minutes, 30 seconds on the clock. We've got the dance floor and Eternal Bond ready, and Ryan Mason did get a nice little 2-piece there with Jarvis and co, as he's got the maximum pulse. Can he make big use of it?
Got the again and again ready to rotate through the Kraken impact. Maximum pulse out coming in from Amazing. Isn't going to be able to find anything. Great shield placement too from the other side of TTK. The Psionic Seduction just forcing Sentinels to back away. Tries to halt that momentum as the copy comes in from SJP. Save with the God of Mischief copies. It's going to be onto Harvey with the Eternal Bond, just waiting with the group walls to move all the way up. Got the group hug ready to go. They had to wait out for that Lunaster ultimate first, and they try to cut off the healing again as Terra continuously finds Amazing.
Rips the batteries right out of Jarvis. It's a terrible thing to witness here as Vinny throwing in the absolute GOAT group punches. And Aaron Mori, though, keeping the team alive. Eternal Bond is going to help with the sustain. We do have the Dance of Butterflies that get the huge pick on Terra, but the Lina trace instantly matching note for note with Amazing. But it is going to be Sentinels on top here with 3-4. They've got the point.
Together with Techie 2, gonna be able to wrap all the way around after clearing that second choke, but they're looking behind them. They know that something is amiss. There's somebody else that may be on their flank point that they have to look for. That's probably Delena.
They're gonna have to look to reset 100 Thieves in their belt. They've got Delena ready to go. Terra's gonna stay on that Winter Soldier. This is gonna be a little bit of a neutral fight here as the seduction happens. It's just so fun watching these two teams strategically go at this point hold here. Becky backing up, and Sentinels now backing up, trying to reset Vicky.
I want to see Delena's positioning. Vinny's waiting for the green light here. It's going to be the ready go between Delena and Vinny, and Delena's going to try to open things up with the Dance of Butterflies, jumping right in. According to Q, Aramorty and Kurova become the victims of this harassment. They knew something was about, and before they realize it, they just get jumped. A complete takeover from 100 Thieves.
That was an absolute symphony. I mean, perfect, hitting every single note. Vinny with the quick swap to Steve Rogers. He can do it all freaking day. I mean, it's crazy because you have to sustain to survive that damage from the Dance of the Butterflies, but not when you have Captain America's shield right up your gut.
It's just so much too. You have to split that focus. Everyone's turning right behind you. The Psionic Seduction just to at least clear the space around this next corner to also isolate the problem that's on the other side. That may be Delena Terra. Right, amazing. He's got a family. He's been already dead for like the last 3 times. The Dance of Butterflies trying to get the follow-up off the Groot ult, but Nectar takes a lot of damage. Gets some help too from the Lanterns, or actually from Kurova over to the Dance of the Fate of both worlds. Pulse Charge does find Vinny though. That's a big pick. 100 Thieves now losing out on 3.
Yeah, Civil War out there as Iron Man does eliminate Captain America, but this time Steve not getting the finish he wanted here. Right, Mason putting on the pressure here. Beautiful job as he's also going to get the beam right onto TTK. One of the few ways to take down that diamond form and the reduction. Now Aramori's got the Eternal Bond to help push him forward a bit, but right now 100 Thieves, they've got the sustain with Vinny. They've got Terra and the Kraken Impact. This is going to be a really tough third point with 46 seconds.
See how they're going to be able to hold this with Aramori coming in with the Eternal Bond. Crimzo slowly approaching that Groot ultimate too, the group hug. While 100 Thieves have just so much more to work with, you can already see Delena getting into position, by the way, in that invisibility. Helping that together with the Emma Frost team up. TTK having that Psionic Seduction to try to negate that from Aramori to push in.
Yeah, just two duelists playing all-oop with each other, right? And slamming his baskets as Delena gets the back pick on Kurova. That's going to be a big one. 76 to ult. They needed him up at the very least as Aramori now forced to use the Eternal Bomb. We have Avengers assembling. 100 Thieves pushing in with Vinny now with the Kraken Impact. It's 1. Let's go ahead and make it 2. You know it's going to be more than that. As well, they do survive this, Vicky, and he's putting the pressure down. Clawed up, down, uppercut, shot.
But no sustainability. You have Kurova coming in late, but right, amazing. May have just saved them here as Kurova Death is off the Psionic Seduction. They clear out 100 Thieves. They come in to recontest at the perfect time as the portal comes out just in case for some safety from Sentinels. At 100 Thieves, though, they don't have anything to worry about because Sentinels were able to take it all the way to the finish line.
Right, amazing. He's blazing. That was a beautiful job, even with all of, honestly, surviving the Kraken Impact, right? They only got 1 off that. Usually it's a minimum 3. I think it's literally in the abilities description under Terra there, but they were able to survive that with the early pick on Kurova, too. Like 100 Thieves, they executed that to perfection, but that's what Iron Man and, more importantly, Right Amazing can do to flip the script.
That Pulse Masterclass allowing themselves to claim that point. That was looking really shaky. When Kurova was focused out of position specifically, it could have been that Delena was able to get the pick earlier on, knew that Kurova was going to come out, was a little behind, and still was able to get a back-to-back stagger. That was scary there, but it did allow Kurova to at least re-engage with the Luna dance-off after following up with Amazing and that Iron Man ultimate.
As we look at the stats here across the board, Crimzo honestly doing a lot for this team. It's the silent assassins often group, one of the most silent, right? But he often speaks the volumes that we see here. TTK Techie both doing a great job, but Techie now putting on a 28-2 show. Not only, again, showcasing the Olymp potential, but the survivability is what gave him so much pressure.
Look at these stats here. Even though it seems pretty inflated out here, looking at Amazing with the 13 final hits, 11 looking at the other side. Nectar really been able to pop off. It's 100 Thieves that have been doing a really good job in terms of their positioning. Terra coming in on the Punisher, though. Better late than never, as I always say, and it's a great map to utilize it when you look to the sky, as Amazing's been the problem on the Iron Man.
Yeah, we've seen this Frank Castle story before, and it doesn't end pretty here. It's often 50k damage, 50 eliminations as he's pushing forward here. Wants to up those numbers. Delena has 1 tick of health and surviving just narrowly. And why do we've got it? Well, Frank's going to go for Tony as Amazing is going to look to get pressure with the hit scan. But no, it's Sentinels putting on a great performance of teamwork here. My goodness.
Even better for them when they hold on this spot specifically. There's a lot of the, oh my goodness. Oh, but they still found him trying to get back to the rest of the team. That was actually crazy. Delena thinking that you could get away right on time, but the beautiful communication that we have between Nectar and Techie as Techie repositions off that high ground before dropping down.
Yeah, we're amazing able to get this ult so quickly here too. Crimzo almost has the entanglement. This is going to be a giant setup if they can do so correctly. And there it is. Oh, the wonderful save from, goodness, TTK with the shield up from Emma. That's incredible.
The reaction was actually insane there. TTK gets the MVP just for that save, but it's not going to be enough, it looks like, because Techie has built up so much of this damage thanks to Vinny being on that group, setting up these group walls here. They get the follow-up. They finally take Techie down. Nectar tries to follow up here, too, after finding SJP. The group hug from Vinny, though, trying to funnel all the rest of Sentinels in that side room. They're playing split up, though. Great positioning for them as to avoid the final judgment.
It's just chest with explosions as now Terra looking for Elims, and every bullet has a name, and the Elim feed is reading them out loud as they get the 4, now 5. It's the duelist show, pushing it forward.
And you're looking at both directions, literally both of the duelists using those ultimates. Delena on one corner, like on one side of the sandwich, while Terra on the other. But this also means that they had used up a lot, and it's already 2 minutes on the clock. SJP, the only one with the ultimate for the next fight.
Yeah, I mean, he's just emptying the clip and filling the feed. I mean, it's what he does best here now on the turret. Great position here, pushing it out. We've got TTK trying to get that early pressure on. Now, in the set of Sentinels, we've got the maximum pulse yet again. He's going to have to look out for TTK and that awareness this time, but the internal bond is going to help them with that sustain. And honestly, a great hold so far, Vicky. 1 minute, 38 seconds left. Oh, it's right there, and he throws it down there. It's right on the final flash.
Yeah, not point blank, not this time around here, too. Gets blocked out, Techie, too, being able to find Terra. That's 2 out for 100 Thieves, and they don't want to go back to the drawing board. They don't want to go back to the spawn. Psionic Seduction now coming in just to re-engage, because at least with Harvey coming in, you will have the Eternal Bond in this next fight.
And I've got to say, Nectar's just getting such crucial eliminations in the back line. Oftentimes, again, there's a story that we don't see written, but Rymaz in there gets to Lina with the quick poke of neutral. Now, Terra coming back as Strange. We've seen him do that before, and it has helped them massively while they get the portal and the presser. 56 seconds. There's the dance of the butterflies. Can they get a piece of it? Nectar slicing, dicing, and you've got the lanterns out. Big cooldown slash kick. Dead.
Wow, the timing on those lamps, too, from SJP was so on point. Talk about the awareness from TTK to look right behind them. You wait till the very end of the Dance of Butterflies, then you activate the low-key lanterns just to stay alive. SJP was not worried, did not utilize that ultimate coming right back in, but you have to look up at the maximum pulse who misses out again. TTK, always on point, combine that with Vinny in these group walls.
Just eyes on the back of his head. Again, I would say I haven't seen this many lights since New Year's Eve in New York, but we're here. We're in New York, and it's matching the hype that we would see on the countdown as Crimzo 88% Aramori to follow Techie close behind. 2 minutes, 40 seconds. Great job. They got all 3 points, Vic. So right now, Sentinel's still very much in charge of this defensive effort.
It's looking like front row seats right here in Times Square. It's just the amount of counter picking that we're seeing. The lights just burning and ingrained in your corneas. Now you have 2 ultimates. Techie's opening things up first with the Sonic Seduction. Great wall, though, just to allow them to reposition. Gets the copy here from SJP to allow the pathing because they're limited on time. 2 minutes now, less than 15 seconds here as Rymaz gets taken out.
Dashing through the snow, Rymaz out of the fight here now, pushing forward. Crimzo trying to just stay through this internal bond to keep himself alive. TTK, though, wants every bit of it. Turret on maximum overdrive here as the group goes out. TTK eliminates Crimzo, but the dash, we do get a trade in Duelist. They're doing a great job to stall.
Oh, but going right back in. Kurova's slowly approaching that fate of both worlds, but too little, too late here. While 100 Thieves have 3 ultimates to claim this next point. A lot of space being built up. Vinny having that the group hug, while the rest of Sentinels are staggered in.
Just TTK, tactical team killer. I mean, this guy, it's crazy what he can do at the helm of a Vanguard. Now, Terra on the top with that shotgun, ready to lock and load. Kurova, Scott. Oh, okay.
Literally put Rymaz in the blender with that beam. That was crazy. Terra with the final judgment. Sentinels did have the answer, though, try to prevent and stall as long as possible on the second point just to waste more out of the time bank. Worth it at least for them to use that fate of both worlds to come right back into the portal. But again, it's just to take away from that time bank. They get to the second checkpoint. They have now an additional minute on the clock with 2 minutes.
Yeah, cleaning up the scraps there with the shotgun. We've got the maximum pulse. The duelist ready to rock. 2 minutes again. Not a lot of time, but as we saw from the last map, Vicky, they don't need much time to get the push on, right? They only use the overtime previously. Now as Vinny leading the charge here and the aggression. And this is the thing about Loki, right? You can just set up those clones and have a little small army pushed by the cart.
Depending on how they rotate through these ultimates, though, and the impact, they will be able to win at least these next 2 fights to get this payload to that second corner. Psionic Seduction is going to open things up. And Amazing with the maximum pulse coming in. Does not find its mark again. The way that they kited it away, bursting right into that ground. Then you have the dance of butterflies from Nectar. Curling Sentinels have just thrown out everything. The Psionic Seduction will come out online, but you fall before you can even use it because then Leonardo comes in and Vinny still holding on to that Groot ultimate.
Just a Marvel fireworks show. Abilities flying, cooldowns, they're crying. No one's breathing. It's pure pressure as they push in here. Vinny's got that entanglement ready to rock. And at this point, minute 23 seconds left. Sentinels, they got 3. 100 Thieves look to match it now as we've got the quick swap. Amazing going and trying to put some pressure on in a different way.
Kurova having the fate of both worlds, though, in this next fight. That's why they time to contest himself for as long as possible. Nice, gets into the turret, so that way you don't get affected by the Psionic Seduction right before those group walls come in. You get to iframe right through that, too, as Techie now moves all the way back, right behind the shield. And it's a group hug that Vinny's looking for. They know with the way that Vinny is holding all the way forward, but the Terror Cave forces Vinny back. You are not even able to use it. Yes, the dance up from Kurova comes in, but they'll have only one more re-engagement for this next fight.
That's a massive pick and a massive fight win here as the teams look to get back together. I watched Terra's ult charge go from 45 to 80 within just a blink of an eye, though. And so he'll be set up for the final judgment for the final fight. Looking at both teams, they're both fully loaded. So we're about to see an absolute drop of the base and not just from a Luna.
Vigilante Justice on the horizon. Terra having that final judgment. Psionic Seduction, though, they have to desperately contest the point. You got now less than 15 seconds, but you have all the tools in your pocket to try to take this fight, cycling through this. A supernova to open things up. Crimson going down first. The follow between Vinny and the group of Delena and Techie meets their demise. Terra, though, is able to try to look for Amazing, who's been able to get all the healing. Now looking around, can't fly away. Terra gets sent out thanks to Harvey making this pathing here. Coming up next with the Eternal Bond.
And they're not going to be able to push enough. Yes, you've got a tree, but it's not going to be. Oh, wow. We do get the Groodle off and the slash. But Delina and Nectar both at the same time, like in harmony with the dance. It's going to be 100 Thieves, so getting 1, 2, make it 3. And they get 3 points to match Sentinels.
Harvey coming through the Eternal Bond just to keep everybody alive out of the Groot ult was big. No strangling prison. Nobody's getting strangled this case around. And even with no time at the time back, we saw this cozy. We saw this very similar in our last map. Now getting a little bit of deja vu right here, though. I really like the way that we saw Sentinels changing things up, even Amazing at the very end, the way that they stalled for as long as possible. Their game plan was to try to deplete as much away from that time bank as possible.
Yeah, I mean, they had everything answered there. And honestly, though, if it wasn't TTK to answer Jarvis, all right, it was then Harvey with the quick cloak. At that one point, we saw one where Harvey got a cloak off everybody and the iframe's done, right? Couldn't get through that. They had an answer every single time, and you only have milliseconds to prepare for that. So just great job from them, forcing the swap and ultimately getting the job done. And it's all... Vinny, too, I got to say, great performance from him at the end. A couple hits there in the melees. What, 3 limbs to open things up?
Yeah, and also just forcing Amazing off of that Iron Man, like we saw like TTK get the block 3 times back to back. When those ultimates are not landing, you have to make some changes. And Supernova is a lot easier to CC and control, a lot of more of that damage output in that short amount of space, a lot better than an Iron Man that keeps getting blocked.
Amazing and Terra's stats are almost neck for neck. Yes, Terra's gonna get that 50k, but Amazing right behind him with a smidge more E-limbs here as pushing forward. We've got yet again, we had a quick magic show, but it's back to Torch as he's throwing down, trying to get rid of that turret and that pressure immediately and counter with his own pressure here, Vicky, forcing them into the room in the restaurant now. But Vinny, he wants all of it.
Amazing being on this torch now. Crimson moving all the way up. It's the Groot right here in this alleyway that just has so much space to build up, but it's the poke pressure just to build into these ultimates. And look at Terra, who's already at 64% as he's the first one to get the pick onto Amazing.
Absolute justice and punishment served hot on Amazing, taking him down. The trade, though, we've seen this time after time. It's the Psylocke battle over and over here as we've got the attack of the clothes. Vinny now looking for more. This right now has been a great defensive effort. Nothing to come from it. 67 seconds. Can Jarvis get this thing charged up? Crimso has his part ready. Entanglement coming though in form of Vinny, and it's going to be, oh my goodness, amazing with the quick swap and flip on Terra that was about to go crazy.
The timing from AMER and the Eternal Bundle just to enable that play together with Crimso. Now they can't get off the point. Overtime, taking away. They clear it from 100 Thieves, but 100 Thieves will be able to re-engage with Harvey and TTK having both of those ultimates. It's really up to how Nectar and Rymazing prevent them from trying to approach in that next choke.
Just such a good job there, and an important one at that. They get rid of Terra's ult, and now he's got him over to Bucky. Harvey and TTK ready to respond, but Rymazing, can he land it? He's gotten 2 so far. Can he make it more there with Jarvis and Prez as they push forward? Nectar once more. There's the pulse charge. It goes down, and Vinny takes a lot of hit, but it's not anything when you've got an Eternal Bond keeping you up. Dance floor drop. Delina looking for the backline pick.
Man, what was that? 1 for 4, 1 for 5 thus far here, too. If it's not the pillar, it's the Emma Frost and the shield blocking you out. Instead, Korova finishes off with the fate of both worlds as the Dance of Butterflies is greenlit here. Nectar finding SJP, finally trying to see what they can do here as Sentinels are in trouble. Techie goes down with the Psionic Seduction and now trying to fly away, trying to get some cover. You get to the health pack, and Deleta's just trying to focus their sights on Rymazing, who cannot get away.
An impossible fight to take whenever you're Iron Man versus a not only Silent but Delina that close. But honestly, they're still keeping the jump. Nectar right now is absolutely controlling this point, slicing and dicing again. That sense execution about to come out yet again from them. Crimso as the entanglement. Oh, it's the Nectar show.
Don't forget about Nectar. It's mango season out here. Group hug for Crimso to find everybody. Sentinels with this long fight. AMER had got an Eternal Bond like twice, by the way. They still cannot get off this point. Look at the sliver of pixels left for that overtime clock.
And Zeki with the mystical mic drop coming in with Strange getting the 2-piece. We've got a Kraken impact. Obviously, that's going to put a stop to some things here. But right now, Sentinels, they've had an answer for all of this. Look at Rymazing looking calm as a dang cucumber. Pushing forward here. Doesn't need any ult to put the pressure on. Does have that ult there, and there's the overdrive. Vicky putting the pressure out. Can we get a 2 for 5?
Nectar trying to force out one of the ultimates here. Big wall, though, coming out. Unfortunate here. Couldn't see if the color was actually Crimson that put that up preemptively, but probably Vinny on the other side. They get off the point. Too much pressure, and that was the Techie who just activated the diamond form. Oh, no. They got off when they were still alive, but it was a lot of pressure, but they were just trying to kite away from the ultimates.
You hate to see it. You hate to see the S9, but here's the good news, all right? That was a hell of a lot better push than they thought they were going to get when it was almost stopped there at the front. So great job either way. Each team very similar in efforts to be able to push forward. Now they just need the defensive plan to make sure they don't get sent to the lower bracket. Right now, guys, if you're just now coming in, this game could push down Sentinels and move 100 Thieves to the grand finale, which at this point, home court. They've been there so many times, they're looking to do it again.
Lot on the line here. Sentinels tournament lives from the winner's side at stake. 100 Thieves. 1 dub away from sitting in the grand finals as we take a look at these stats right now. 71,000 damage blocked for Vinny, but even crazier, 101,000 damage blocked from Crimso. It's honestly, I'm not surprised. These brute walls, especially when you're dealing with Emma Frost, it's so lethal.
82k healing, Korova, 52 elims for the Rye guy. I mean, so bonkers. Again, this is like my career stats across every role. I'm impressed with the performance, the grit, the willpower. They're both going to land. They both get to see each other in person to face off, but they want it right here, right now. The battle for America continues.
Let's get this started here. Delena already looking to get position in the high ground, looking around to see where Nectar is, because Nectar has really come to life thus far. The silent but deadly killer before dropping down. That's what I'm talking about. Waited for SJP and utilized that mental projection with a damage output.
Click, click, boom. It was two clicks, and it was over. The slice and dice to perfection. That's as good as the combos you get. Hey, let's make it another. Nectar putting on a performance.
Still, look at this. This is Nectar right now, feeling themselves with the way that they've been able to play up on this high ground. Time bank ticking away. You got less than 20 seconds now if you're 100 Thieves.
and the game just moves so slowly for him. It's crazy, the effort here. Crimzo now with the big hit and the trade on Vinny. This could be the win for Sentinels. They got to clean it up here, and it's at the hands of Nectar right now. Looking cool as he pushes in. Terra getting close to the final. There it is. Jarvis throwing it down, not connecting for the 10th time, as now the group all comes together, and Nectar is all you need. Every dash is precision. Every slice is calculated. Getting out of there, staying alive, Vicky.
It's going to be even bigger, though, if Delena could boost up the stance of butterflies here right on time after Harvey had used the Eternal Bond. It's about to run out, and it's better timing for Nectar. Techie finds Vinny after the group hug. Now desperately trying to get to the point as overtime is taking away from them. This is going to allow Terra to have the pathing, follow the yellow brick road, taking so much of that damage, even with the Eternal Bond at their feet.
Here comes Friday the 13th. Can they respond to the horror movie and get out of there alive? TTK, though, taking them in, and Delena deleting them out now as they're pushing forward. Overtime clicking. They're going to have an insane offensive effort. They have a long way to go with the yellow going. Shotgun pushing. Nectar trying to get the trade, but no, it's going to be instead SJP keeping them alive. And hey, we got one, Vicky. We got a connection on Terra.
It took a little bit here. I believe that's like 2 for 5 or 6 after your own teammate blocked out your previous ult, but the group hug now from Crimzo. Aramori with the Eternal Bond brings everybody together as Crimzo in a deadly hug finds Harvey and SJP. This only leaves Delena coming in and no one in sight. We are going the distance. They've been held back as Sentinels take us to another map.
Sentinels was not going to go down without a fight, and dang it, did they show a fight there. Insane performance, and they were able to answer the call even with things not going their way. One person steps up, Aramori getting the MVP. Congratulations on Cloak and Dagger as we look at the 2-1 effort, and we go to game number 4. Look at take a look. Take a look at these stats.
Oh my goodness, this is what, like, dude, 117 damage block for Crimzo, like the 26 final hits for Nectar. Nectar was so crazy, 59 and 9. We highlight that of Terra. Well, guess what? Make way for Nectar, who has been putting in not only so much pressure, gets the elims, 35k damage on top of it all. I mean, and that's a survivability hand in hand with Aramori and Korova, both with 62 assists.
Yeah, I mean, nearly 200k healing, too, from that squad over there. I mean, wow. If you look at the difference, every person on this team doing something different, right? Techie with those elims and clutch pulls now, and Crimzo, I mean, that is so much potential behind that Groot and what he's able to do. And they got rid of Wolverine. That was the big difference maker, right? Getting rid of the slasher of what has been the horror film so far. But this time, the only one laughing is Sentinels. Insane job.
You know that real quick, with both these teams being in person and talking to one another in the tournament room, I would love to hear what Rymazing had to say to Crimzo when we saw that big block before that second checkpoint. I could only just imagine the comms probably just sounded insane. And then the diving, the 1-2-3 that we were calling out with Delena being so sneaky in the back line, still were able to find these picks here together with Vinny.
And just the huge glow of Vinny, right? He was the group show, and they would ban that, and there'd be some struggle. We kind of saw that going into the MRC, but now looking to what he can do there with Captain America, not just on this map, but we've seen this in the past. But I'm most impressed, I've got to say now, map after map. We know what Rai can do, all right? Super Gomez was that other spot. Great player. Right now, he's subbed out for Nectar. Nectar coming in. Performance on the biggest stage with the biggest stakes on the line is insane.
Yeah, Nectar, we heard it from Aramori actually in her interview just like, what, 2 days ago, that Nectar just is insane. Very talented player, and it's putting that in full display out here with the Psylocke. And that's with the amazing different pools of heroes that Nectar could really like lean onto depending on what we could see.
Yeah, I mean, each of these people and all of the players on this team, they know their job. And if you look at the greatest dynasties, the greatest teams of all time in sports, it just boils down to it. Belichick said it best. Do your job, and they've been doing a great job. Both teams fighting it out, duking it out. We could get ourselves... could you imagine? I mean, they got reverse swept. There's no way, but it could happen.
Like, we're definitely going to see them still sticking to the Mantis ban. That's why you don't see Nectar on the Star-Lord, because Nectar's also, by the way, like, we're seeing the Psylocke pop off. If you were able to see the Star-Lord in a res comp, it's also just like as crazy, maybe even crazier. But I was expecting this series to go to distance. I'm really happy to see what Sentinels was able to do right there.
And again, it's not like they played bad on the second map. Yeah. They had 4 minutes on the clock for the push. It was just the insane job that 100 Thieves did there. So I think both teams are pretty happy with their game plan thus far, and we're going to see if they stick to the same thing in terms of the picks, in terms of the bans. But guys, don't go anywhere. We've got another map. I've got a fly flying around here, and we're going to be back after this break. What's going on, guys, and welcome back. We've had an insane day of Rivals, Vicky, and we're looking to make it 2 days as we enter in the late midnight in the East Coast, and we headed to another match that's going to be match number 4 between these two teams.
Ain't no party like a Rivals party, I always say. We'll party throughout the entire rest of the night if we have to, because we have some great Marvel Rivals on our hands. Sentinels making the comeback, figuring out what they needed to change, being able to actually stagger in with those ultimates, and the survivability too. And combine that with Nectar, it's just been crazy.
Yeah, and who would have thought that the answer was a magic to open things up at, you know, the first pretty much that we've seen on the scene of Ignite here as we go into our next map. And guys, they get to repick the game modes and the rotations, and we're going to domination for 100 Thieves. It was razor tight with Sentinels, but they look strong in the opening map in Wakanda. Now we head to Hell's Heaven.
Hell's Heaven, we meet again, and we starting things off. It's the immediate target ban onto Crimzo with the Captain America, getting that out of here while they get to keep the safety on the Emma Frost again. Not so surprised. I wouldn't be surprised if they try to deal with maybe yeah, I was gonna say that torch was just absolutely crazy here. But I mean, how often can you really rotate through everything 100 Thieves has for you? Because Terra just play it all. We've seen the same thing with Delena and that Psylocke being a problem.
Yeah, a lot of this with these top teams too, it's not just how do, you know, what do they want to ban against their best players, it's how do they want to set up their own team as well here. Looking forward to it, we've got Magneto with the ban there for 100 Thieves, and it's looking like the same. They're not going to let Terra get away with the Wolverine show though again.
And then the Loki ban right afterwards too. So you won't have that Luna Snow into the Loki combo of the 24 seconds of invincibility. Aramori though, hinting maybe at the opportunity if they could try to get the res comp. This would set them up for success. What are their strength compositions that they have not been allowed to use? Because we usually see that Mantis ban and yep, put that Aramor luck away because the Mantis won't be able to come out and play.
Aramor, though, has done such a clutch job time after time and really leads the way. Obviously, we keep saying paves the path there with the Eternal Bond. And we're seeing it yet again with that cloak save as the last ban here. Now, they've gone a couple ways. Last time, they, I believe, went with the, I think it was the torch with the wolf. And then they did Luna finally. So will they match the Luna ban? Oh, they're going to go. Oh, I like it.
Okay. Sticking over there to the other side. No Groot, Wolverine, Torch, or Magneto, but they got the safety on the Emma Frost and Harvey too with the Loki.
I mean, Nectar's been going so crazy on Psylocke, but here's the thing. I think they are the Wolverine player on that team. And so right now, I mean, you don't have the Groot, so you don't really need it that much, but Iron Man's going to be tough on this map. I think he's really going to have to watch where he goes, but they've got the SJP, the Harvey combo. They gave it to him, felt confident, but with that and the team up of Emma and Psylocke, it could spell dangerous.
Very true. I'm actually really glad you brought that up for Nectar, because I did say that Nectar has a pretty diverse hero pool, and we've seen before the Wolverine, the Star-Lord, obviously we won't see that here, no res comp, but the Torch, the Psylocke, obviously that the Psylocke's been able to just do amazing work here. And now this is the even split that I was expecting from you guys in the chat. Your team Preds coming through 51% and 49% Cozy.
Those channel points on the line. I was betting them myself whenever I was watching the last cast here, and won a pretty penny, do I say so myself, from the Shroud X game. But we head into Hell's Heaven here and the land of Hydra. And honestly, guys, here's the thing with domination. It's anybody's game, but this first point tells so much of the story. It's so hard to come back, especially at this talent level. It's going to come down to, honestly, this first fight.
I love that skin. Love being able to hear the music, by the way, on that Luna Snow. So he encouraged me to play the character once it dropped here. But Amazing being on this Iron Man, by the way, you'd mentioned how the verticality could be a little difficult, but the reposition specifically allows you to get into a lot more cover up on the high ground.
Absolutely here. He's putting out pressure early. Delena getting the best of Nectar to open things up. That's going to be rough. We'll see if Amazing can get the trade. He does get the lanterns out, but they're going to have to push aggression as now Amazing going down. Delena just having their way up top, shooting a shotgun down, and they don't even have anything to deal with this at the moment with Nectar out. I mean, Crimson's just staying alive through just the craziness that is the cloak bubble and finally putting a little of attention, but it's too little too late.
Oh, no, and Tara being able to find two, and that was off of one pick that we saw from Amazing onto TTK, still holding it down when Delena's holding a split angle from the high ground. Again, the Delena show, when you have Vinny to follow you up right afterwards, and it's such a lethal combo together.
Yeah, we've seen it from Global Gym on Dodgeball, the peekaboo, right? You got Delena up top distracting, and then you have Tara to do the rest. Just such a hard thing to deal with. And as we move in, Amazing getting close to that. They can go in with the dance floor, but we have Delena who's going to already look for the execution.
Nectar now wrapping around here. Oh no. SJP getting that freeze onto Amazing, and in that moment coming in from the back like Delena pulls the trigger on the dance of butterflies, but Aramori even faster, frame one with the eternal bomb. That's going to be able to close in the gap for them, but then you have to consider here Harvey being able to get that copy, gets the dance up with SJP, will be able to have another bit of both worlds to get those 24 seconds of invincibility, but the maximum pulse from Amazing. Jarvis, take us home, put it on 4K as 100 Thieves are sent back to the spawn.
This battle was brought to you and sponsored by Amazing. Insane job. I mean, I was just about to say I would pay for a Psylocke cam because watching Nectar versus Delena is absolute gold. But gosh, just as I'm thinking, Amazing throws down and makes up for all the misconnects on the last map.
Oh man, they really, the fact that that Iron Man ult landed in the perfect time that it did, because they were going to try to stay alive and stall for as long as possible with the dance off that we know that Fate of Both Worlds coming online here. Sentinels finally being able to flip the point with 100 Thieves being at 63%. They're going to open things up with SJP though, going to guide the way with the Psionic Seduction, and Harvey being the first to go.
Yeah, it's a big pick on Harvey. Now SJP forced to get the grand finale out, but oh, Delena with the important trades. It's always Delena here with the quick picks that matter, but now we've got going up, Tara throwing down the Thorns. Nectar though trading the other strategists, now staggering them.
Mori having the eternal bond. They do lose out on Korova in that moment, but it's just so that way they can stall and stay on the point to get some progress here. But now Arrow Mori trying to back away. Delena finding Techie here. Gets shut down though. Talk about the group walls that were put perfectly into position. Also finding two more onto Vinny.
Now, never mind the first point. I said the first battle matters. Nope, Sentinel is making sure this is a fair fight here as they've got the Entangled in prison. Amazing getting close. He's poking. He's getting that spell damage out. Getting that ult up here as he almost has the final flash ready to go. Looking at the strategists, though, they have nothing in the tank, Sentinels-wise. Harvey, though, does have something ready.
Do it. Do it. They're all grouped up together, ready to go, but everyone's already dead. Everyone's already dead. They've already lost themselves here, but Amazing just had to make sure. It's about making a statement here.
Yeah, I always hate that whenever I'm playing. You get something like lined up beautifully. It's always when I'm Bucky, I get the crack and impact going up, and then they get the wipe, and I'm like, come on now. I had something cooking.
Man, it just escapes by you, but it makes you hungry to try to boost up that ult just as fast. By the way, look at this, 96%. They're trying to desperately try to get to the point, and they even put a toe in line. Harvey goes out, though, and no survivability. The portal with a Hail Mary play from Tara to get right back in.
A Korova show going on here with Luna, the duelist. Nectar getting a pressure on with the slicing, the dicing, and right now this is what he does best. Captain America surviving the best he can. Harvey getting back to the point now, getting the show on, and the show continues. We are here on the big stage. Aramori going out with the eternal bond, keeping everybody alive, Vicky. And who's ticking up is Amazing. Crimson the ult.
Oh, but the 1v1 that you highlighted, Nectar finding Delena's number while Delena was about to have the dance of butterflies, overtime ticking away, and Crimson's also got the ultimate. The Eye of Agamotto, though, only finds Amazing, doesn't find Korova. Korova in a great position, at least has the dance up with the fate of both worlds. Turning around, Aramori gets that one pick here, too. And the Psionic Seduction now coming out from Techie as 100 Thieves only have SJP with the dance up with the fate of both worlds, and Delena needs to go crazy.
Entanglement going down, putting these players together. Terra swapping quickly over to Cheaper Town Hall. Now TTK putting on the pressure. There's a sliver left. They can't take a pinky toe out. We saw yesterday they stepped off the point on the most important times here. Now Amazing ready to go with maximum pulse. He's flying back to the map. Jarvis, get ready to clip it. It's shifted. Let's go. And no, the death already happens, but the point is theirs.
It was all worth it. It was just rubbing salt on the wound with the way that they were winning each and every stagger approach onto 100 Thieves there. They kept sending them back and back, even with the recontest off the portal, but they were just trying to stall for as long as possible. And it was rather expensive too, if you consider it. Both teams here fighting for a pretty long time as we take a look at the stats thus far after that first round.
And the Stark Expo out there.
Ooh.
Just the Stark Expo. And we see ourselves with a little replay. Oh, that's fancy. I like it behind the scenes there. Shout out to the great job they've been doing. Looking at what we've got, let's first look at the ult economy here. It's a small in favor of, again, Sentinels coming off that win, which is massive because they were able to do so much there just with Crimson, Ryan, Techie. But, I mean, the stats, they tell the story pretty fair here.
Let's not forget that map 1 on domination, we highlighted before getting into this map specifically, was really close, even with 100 Thieves winning it. So Sentinels feeling that confidence, riding that momentum after that map 3 very close win, right? Amazing having these ultimates ready to go. Maybe not when everybody else is wiped out, but still being able to get into position to get the wombo combo alongside with Crimzo.
All right, pushing forward here, the Genius Billionaire. Trying to get some poke pressure early, and again, I like what they've got. AMER has got yet again. Oh, wow, this is going to be huge if Nectar can get any of these. The Lance's already out, but the team groups up. That's what makes them great here. They were ready for it, but they're pushing the aggression to the max. Turtle Bond followed by Amazing. They get the Lin out. Vinny's about to follow. Oh, he stays alive.
Oh my god, the Freedom Charge rallied behind me. Vinny paving the path here with some extra support as Terra now moves all the way up close to that final judgment. Harvey gets the copy, gets the dance up on the Fate of Both Worlds, and this forces Sentinels to back away just for now. Kurova is slowly approaching the Fate of Both Worlds just to try to re-engage here.
Here's the combo, the wombo, you know it's coming, and bam, Terra throwing out the haymakers, one bullet at a time. Right, Amazing's the first to fall, but luckily they've got Kurova to keep him alive. Crimson throws out the entanglement. Techie now trying to follow up on it here as Terra has the shotgun, and 100 Thieves, they clean up.
The lineup finishing blow, nail in the coffin. It took a lot here, and Sentinels will be able to re-engage Nectar, slowly approaching the Dance of Butterflies, as well as Amazing and Techie. The Psionic Seduction into the Amazing Iron Man ult could go hard here.
Yeah, as now the team's reset 33%, a third of the way there. They've got, to your point, everything they need to get this recap back. It took a lot from 100 Thieves. They've got Vinny close to stall a little bit, but they're miles away from a strategist ult, and that's frankly what you're going to need. Not for Amazing, but Nectar, who's almost there for the dance execution. Pushing in here now, Terra just trying to help his team get the space, but there goes the Emma ult, pushing in Amazing, trying to get Vinny low. He's got the pulse. Is he going to combine it here? Oh, they don't need it.
Nope, not at all, because it's Nectar that ends up following up alongside the Psionic Seduction with Techie together. AMER holding on to the Eternal Bond on the next re-engagement, and it's getting so close between both these teams, literally back and forth as they take turns taking the point.
Yeah, just every cut intentional, every dash is personal. As I've said before, Nectar just doing a fantastic job on just making that backline a graveyard, and then now flipping the script on the horror movie that was the Terror Show. Now Amazing looking for Vinny, has his eyes tracked on him. Gonna let him run around the point as you can with Cap, but you know, kind of keeping tabs on him, letting his team know here, getting the poke damage out, and he's got the ult ready.
I'm a little scared though. I mean, if Vinny's on point, the deflect would go crazy if Amazing's getting to position, but Terra just terrorizing everybody right in front of them. You find Aurora, you find Kurova, you try to get the maximum pulse here. Doesn't find it smart as Nectar does at least deal with Terra, dealing enough of that damage. You try to float away though, and the rest of 100 Thieves outnumber Sentinels as they retake the point.
Yeah, I get that Rye had that ult waiting for a while. Don't like the usage there. You already have a lot of your team go out. Yes, you could have gotten a big master play, but by that time, too late now. You got to recharge it up. You had Crimso's ult to go into this next fight, 83%. I want that one back.
Dance Butterflies Online for Delena Harvey, the God of Mischief. Looking at Sentinels over to the other side, though, they want to try to combine this together between Nectar and Crimzo with a group hug. They start opening up with it first as Delena sees the opportunity to harass the backline. Nobody else here to follow up as Amazing completely negates that. Finds Harvey, finds SJP here. Everyone was so focused on their own backline that Amazing just moved up on 100 Thieves.
And that's what's so crazy about Iron Man, just the amount that the Gamma Beam can just pump out, or the beam can pump out with that Luna show. It's insane. I mean, you're able to not only be healed up so you don't get eliminated, but then the damage output is just it's so much to deal with here. As now they're going in fast. 100 Thieves, they know they need to take this. They can't let Sentinels make this thing an even fight here. Crimzo, though, already eliminating Delena, and at this point Nectar is thirsty for more. Right, Mason's gonna have the pulse as well. You've got two duelists coming up. SJP with the Luna Snow, but makes it, keeps the team alive, and that's a huge miss.
Gave him a quick little haircut. If you felt like you weren't alive, that one will definitely make you feel like you're on the edge of your seat as a dance of butterflies coming in. Vinny still finding Aramori. Amazing out to SJP. That's two strategists out, and the freeze of the Eye of Agamotto. Are you kidding me, Kurova? It's again!
No! Are you kidding me? Move over, Adam Warlock. Kurova's got a new boo. Luna getting it done, and Nectar to follow Sentinels. They make this thing 2-2. The reverse sweep. It can happen. If we learned anything, guys, if we learned anything, we thought this was going to be an easy matchup. Nothing but, this is insane.
Dude, Luna, no. I mean, like, Luna Mo, like, I can't believe this. The way that we just saw that play out here, going the distance. The call out, too, from Kurova at the very end was insane.
I can't. It's incredible that these teams are able to put on the performance they did. Looking at the stats here quickly, wow. I mean, really, there's some fair fights in terms of damage, but where the difference was is key. It's the limbs, it's the deaths, and just speechless.
13 final hits from Nectar. Again, Aramori in our interview was highlighting Nectar for a reason. 27-3. You have the follow-ups available to you too. Amazing just harassing from the skies. You know, even if not every single ult hits, we're talking about the highest level of competition out here. Like, it's very hard. You saw Terra, even with a slight whiff, was trying to move back, gave Terra a quick haircut, gets stunned in the middle of the Eye of Agamotto, which is a lot easier when you're point blank. Like, we probably see it right here. I feel like it happened like all over on this side here, over to the left side, but that was insane.
Yeah, I want to highlight something too. Okay, not only that, right before that, Nectar nailed that Dance of the Butterflies. I'm talking milliseconds as the SJP, I believe, Luna Snow, lost their Fate of Both Worlds. So it was precision counting on the button. And then we see Kurova can't even cast that because Kurova gets the freeze of a lifetime, shutting down the Agamotto.
And the group blocked there too, just to try to block out the healing that we saw within that first round, to then just get the amazing follow-up on the ultimate on the Iron Man here. The maximum pulse backing away, literally like he's in the Matrix out here. And then you talk about following up with the Dance of Butterflies. Every single time they were just trying to stalk here was crazy. It was down to the wire once again.
And Kurova was just the perfection they're able to do there with the swap to damage from healing, keeping the team alive. We didn't get to see the freeze, did we? But either way, no. we gotta, Jarvis better have clipped that, or somebody in the chat clip that, because I gotta go back and see it. Such good timing from Kurova. And listen, he's a GOAT Adam Warlock for a reason. His aim, precision, and awareness. Like, Adam Warlock, one of the high skill ceiling characters in the game, right? Because of cooldown management and perfection, but the aiming you have to do, and the clutch genes, ice in the veins. He's showing all the ice there with Luna Snow.
Kurova's just understanding in general, in terms of positioning, in terms of timing these ultimates, in terms of just being aware of where everybody else is, and ult tracking. Aramori's very good at calling that out for the rest of the team. It's literally, it's perfect. The way that you have Kurova in the backline, if you don't have that Luna Snow ultimate online, at least you could put trust in Kurova to try to land that phrase, which in that moment on the Eye of Agamotto was big, because they're about to get the both backliners there.
I mean, we knew this would be a heavyweight matchup, right? We knew this was going to be the fight of the night, but they're living up to every piece of it. And we've seen this with these teams before. Sometimes going back to some of the past fights, it has been sweeps and sweeps, but no, not this time, not even close. Sentinels, again, this is just, there's so much going on behind the scenes, game plan, strategy, callouts, all of it. That's what makes Rivals great, guys. I know you're not going anywhere, but don't go anywhere. We're going to be right back after this quick break. What's going on, guys, and welcome back. We are on to match 5 and possibly a reverse sweep on 100 Thieves that looks like they could not be stopped. The rage meter filled all the way, but as soon as they tamed down the Wolverine and most importantly the rage on Terra, they've started to figure this thing out, Vicky. And I've got to say, to go to domination with everything on the line like that, lose the first fight and still win, insane.
Yeah, and that was with like some that was hard. Like that was with crazy plays, like Korova with the freeze, the out healing from the backline in general too, like from Sentinels was just on another level. Iramori too with nearly 30k healing, same thing from Korova, and that's like almost like a 10k difference really between what we saw from Korova with the 33k healing and even SJP, who's also on the Luna with only 22k. So the way that the support was there, you know, from the backline right there, Rymazing, Nectar, literally the MVP, I feel like, together with Rymazing trying to distract the opposing team from the sky, and then you have Techie B on the Emma Frost. They dealt what they needed to deal with in this pick and ban phase. Hopefully they keep that Wolverine ban though.
Yeah, 100 Thieves might have the bigger standout players, but the power of teamwork, as we like to say, because we saw how many Jarvis ults didn't connect, how many Iron Man, you know, final flashes did not get the E limbs, but it didn't matter. They played so well as one team, one unit here, and yet again, same game plan, different map, and Yggdrasil's path. It's 100 Thieves. It's their favorite to go to when things get tough.
Getting the save, both Emmas going right through. You get to see the Techie and TTK show again as hovering over the Iron. They've acknowledged that the Iron Man's a problem. They would rather deal with the torch than with the Iron Man.
Yeah, that's a lot of respect. And not only that, we've seen them not go for any of Rymazing's duelists. They've just let them have, you know, their way there. Shutting down Wolverine again, smart game plan. That does open up some other things, right? You got to use that ban there on the Iron Man, and now what it does is it opens up, obviously not the triple res, most likely. I don't think we're going to see that, but Loki ban was usually there, and that's going to give Aramori Loki.
She's like, finally, out of the Loki jail, could finally into it the way that we've been seeing Harvey and SJP just kind of swap between themselves as they put the safety over the Groot. So double safety actually utilized on 2 Vanguards.
Yeah, and you know, as I was just highlighting Vinny, who has gone a lot better on Captain America, getting rid of that Groot last time, that really helped because just Vinny has been so crazy on that role here. And looking at what they've got, they've shut down now Loki, no lanterns to worry about, and this is where I might want to see the Wolverine though. I'm not gonna lie.
We have Yggdrasil, and this is where 100 Thieves really shine. So playing not only to their strength, but the fact that they've been able to save both the Emma and the Groot on this map, this is where 100 Thieves could be really scary, man, as Terra is gonna already be auto-picking onto the Punisher.
And Rymazing hovering on Iron Man there. You love to see it. wishing he could play it, but he can't. You guys are seeing this correct. Your eyes do not deceive you. It's 2 to 100 Thieves, then it's 2 to Sentinels. This is the last map. Winner moves on to the grand finals, and then we're on our last match as we're going all day on this puppy. Can't wait. And there it is. We're looking at Asgard on the flyover, and wow, momentum. She has a name, and it's prediction. Look at this.
Oh, 61. I love it. Sentinel fans at home, I know you guys are waiting for the reverse 3-0. This has just fluctuated back and forth. We are going the distance. And by the way, I hope you guys are ready and strapped into your seats because we still got another series after this. Let's get this started, though. Coming out of the gates already, shooting off, is going to be Terra looking down the sightlines as Sentinels are holding this next corner.
Now, winner of that lower one goes to China, but for now, we've got the 100 Thieves Sentinel show here. 2 top Titans, the clash of the Titans as they're fittingly playing here. The land of the gods here. Terra on the Punisher.
Okay, just trying to boost up into that beam, having even more damage. You get to utilize now Vinny's walls as well as having those Loki clones. Nectar looking right behind them, just trying to take some poke pressure too with that shotgun blade, but getting checked with Delena actually being able to reposition just as quickly. Nectar's found out.
Yeah, that Pika, but you would think Hella has the invisibility there, just appearing before the eyes and getting the stun off, and it's just so crazy that Hella's got a stun like that now as we're trying to get a little bit of pressure on Delina. Stepping in right amazing there on the Bucky. He does not play a lot of Winter Soldier. I've seen him play a little bit, but not a lot of it as they're now pushing the point up through the first little chokehold.
A save though, the judge and jury coming in. The final judgment was ready for him though, as Nectar shuts down Terra, and that's just because they didn't have those ultimates available for them to try to combat that. Now Era Morning with the dance off, Kuroa slowly approaching that fate of both worlds, but it's a successful defense here for Sentinels.
Yeah, they're figuring out how to shut down the monster that is Terra, and what a way to do it during the final judgment of it all. Terra now gonna match Rai here on Bucky. A lot of against, guys. You're gonna hear that word a lot as we push through this map. But right now, 2 minutes, they've got a great defense going on, and if we look at Sentinels, they've got the imprisonment. They throw it down, they follow it with the Kraken impact, and bam! Rai gets the best of Terra, but goes down with it.
TTK was looking at him straight here over on the other side, taking to try to come back. That as Delena over to the skies with some help from the Goddess of Death. The Psylocke dance of the butterflies from Nectar, though, is just waiting as Nectar is forced to back away. The group walls, TTK on this Emma Frost has just been crazy, but the fate of both worlds was activated before the Psionic Seduction, allowing it to go through. Techie just trying to buy some time and space, while TTK, just as a lone man army at this point, has just been wiping Sentinels one by one with the rest of the help from the 100 Thieves.
Lasting forever here. Sentinels, Aramore gets to play Loki. We have not seen them on Loki in a long time. They elect not to go Strange till right now. Late Strange switch as they're getting in the pressure early. Crimson may not be able to make it. It's ticking any second. He can't get that portal there. Someone's got to touch. They are doing successfully, but that's going to come with a trade. Oh no, they're able to, wow, they take the point back and force the pushback. Forced to with Aramori in the fate of both worlds. TTK trying to respond as well here. Crimson fighting through the pressure, through the seduction is Doctor Strange as he pops.
Backing away. It's Aramori. They have to remember why they wanted to ban that Loki in the first place, right? Aramori finally free as Techie gets taken out with the Kraken impact and with some extra help. Again and again, forcing the back Sentinels, knowing their lesson, though, are just going to try to back away while the Eye of Agamotto, it's huge. It's fun four, and it cost Delena to fall down. They try to do the wombo combo, but then the shutdown right afterwards from Vinny to get that trade after Rymazing was able to get SJP.
Everyone focused on keeping Terra up. He had 1 health, and they all focus on him. SAP finally pays the price because of it, and Crimson follows there on Vinny. And sometimes when you have a stud like that with all the attention going to him, you're able to capitalize. Aramori now trading Terra down. 26 seconds left on their home court. This is Thieves' map. They love it, but right now it's all Sentinels.
They're planting their feet. They set the flag here. This is going to be Sentinels territory now, unless 100 Thieves could take out something different. SJP will have the fate of both worlds, but Sentinels with Nectar on the prowl. You have to worry about the dance of butterflies first. It comes in here. The survivability is not there to help out Vinny. SJP is so close to the fate of both worlds, and with overtime ticking away, they need to stall.
This is unbelievable here. This defensive effort now just trying to get some pressure on that point now. We're amazing. They'll get in the 1, get in the 2. They have no fire extinguisher. The fire department, it's too late for them to help. Techie with the follow-up, and it's looking like Sentinels are going to get a hold of a lifetime. And they, oh my God.
We are Venom, we are Rymazing, we are the Torch. The follow-up, beautiful. Then rolling out on the Venom, just a recontest, even better, because they had used up that portal earlier when they recontested with Aramori on that Loki, copying that strategist ult here. But that was a crazy hold.
Sentinels saw Shroud X. They're like, hold my shield. We got to reverse sweeping us too. I mean, like, this is insane. It was all 100 Thieves and Sentinels putting on a defensive master class. Unbelievable. Now they've got, honestly, everything they need here to get this. They've got so many fights, so many opportunities. It comes down to this. The grand finals on the line. It's 2-2. This is all they need.
This is do or die. Do or die. Sentinels, one more map away from getting the reverse sweep to sit in this grand finals. Getting the reversal, making the adjustments that they needed, starting off within the pick and ban phase 2, but this has just been a masterclass of a series.
You know, when Rymazing steps up there on Iron Man, he forces the ban, and that opens up the world. That's what they needed. They won this in the pick and ban phase by a mile. I mean, the Wolverine getting banned, that was a big solution to what was really wrecking them in the first couple of maps. but then they finally bent. They had that strategy, 100 Thieves, going in each and every time to ban certain heroes, but they gave up the Loki and AMER, and everyone followed.
That's the biggest thing, I feel like, that having Loki coming out, AMER being so strong on Loki in general. Crimzo, though, trying to pull off something cheeky over to the other side with the portal play, trying to wrap around them. It's all the Hail Marys attempt as 100 Thieves now try to look and break their neck. Vinny over to the other side. Tira taking a good amount of pressure, but they're trying to run that triple Vanguard, triple support as Nectar finds Harvey, but Delena be on the rocket with the BRB machine. You're coming right back.
Oh, it's poetic. You got Psylocke and Magic going off. They may not have a team up anymore, but these X-Men are shining as they slice and dice with their swords, getting instant eliminations as Rai. Look at that straight face, man. That scares me.
I don't know how he does it. Like, this is not a drill. We get to see Magic for like a crumb of a second for the second time in the series, just in general. Like, I love being able to finally see some Magic play as they jump right in to re-engage off of Vinny being on this portal, on the Doctor Strange to utilize the portal rather. Amazing trying to find the supports though, trying to find the harassment, backing away with the 100 Thieves, not having that Loki instead, but Tara finding that big pick onto Amazing.
Yeah, that's going to help slow things down, but they need to at 2 minutes and 52 seconds left. Tara just farming that ult quickly there. Vinny with the pop and the follow-up here, but Crimso's got the entanglement. Right now, Sentinels, though, they're just going to regroup. Nectar trying to just run away, and oh my gosh, Tara wants it. He's hungry, he's thirsty, rage to 100 as he's looking for them now, and Nectar is still in that backline, though, Vic, which is going to be huge. 90% to ult. They can get some crazy pressure from both sides.
Oh, the way that he was just trying to follow Nectar. It was a statement to be made here. While Nectar does have the dance of butterflies, they've kept it in check as Crimzo with the group hug has answered together as SJP being the first to get taken out. This is the win condition. Nectar proceeds to get 2K and still has a dance of butterflies. Another freeze!
Oh,
another freeze from Corona!
What?
How does he keep doing it?
Oh, no, but Delena with the slice and dice, and it's going to be Sentinel standing strong. The shield, it can take hits, but it will not crack. But there's a minute and 53. We're seeing everything come out. Tara, the Iron Fist, he gets one pick, Vic.
Oh, wait a minute. Wait, Nectar's still spawn camping, though. Looks like they were still able to find SJP on the way back. Still an opportunity here as Nectar goes out right afterwards. Tara gets the health pack and then tries to re-engage. These swaps actually allow him to recontest here, a minute and 30 seconds.
Amazing, trying to get that pressure on early. Tara, though, that's a great swap over to the Iron Fist. Gonna be tough to deal with all of that. Karate Kid thrown out of the flood. Who's gonna get the armor? And now Amazing throwing down, exploding. Karova going up, throwing down the beat, and the momentum is coming with it now. Crimson pushing in 75% there. It's getting close, but honestly, 100 Thieves have every response they need. Vic, there's a minute left.
And Harvey is the next one to try to keep everybody alive. Cheaper Town Hall coming in, but the Brute is going to pull them back together. No healing as Crimzo with a big wall blocks out any opportunity to get a reset onto that Iron Fist from Tara. We are Groot as a group hug comes in. Sentinels, right, Amazing, slowly approaching that supernova, by the way, and they've just used up the Eternal Bonds.
This is looking as close as you get here. 5 meters push back at this point. Harvey and Go at the helm now. We've got Nectar and Techie locked and loaded. It comes down to this, guys. Final 30 seconds. Who's moving to the grand finals? Who's being booted down below here? Amazing throwing it down. Dance of Butterflies goes out. They survive through the cloak bubble. That's huge. Both strategists turn eyes. Vicky Amazing throwing it down. It's coming down to this.
The patty cake just to stay alive because they had no other ults in that first pick. Amazing in the driver's seat has sent Sentinels up for success together with Nectar. Nobody to touch this point from 100 Thieves. Even with that pick away from Tara, it doesn't even matter. Sentinels succeed with the flip, the reversal 3-0.
The shield, it does not crack. It qualifies and pushes him to the grand final. And as we said to start the show, Amazing needs to change his name to Right Game Changing as they get the finish and the MVP. It is the reverse sweep back-to-back here in the playoffs for America.
Wow. What an ending. What an end. Crimzo with that pull in too, focusing onto Tara to put the wall up. Then you have Amazing, despite that, through the dance of butterflies that we saw from Nectar. The backliners here from 100 Thieves stay alive. And then Amazing with the supernova, man. That was crazy. Everybody just trying to take out everything when the portals were used up, everything at the end. But it is Rymazing and the rest of Sentinels that come out on top. 17k damage, making the swap when they needed 10 final hits to share that between themselves and Nectar.
I mean, I'm speechless. We talked about Crimzo and this team and the strategy behind them. And as we said before, they won that in the pick ban phase from start to finish. They been as far as you could in a map like this. They did not break in the series, and they were able to take down in Marvel Rivals the biggest rival of teams, in my opinion, are these two right here. Both going to China. 100 Thieves already punched their ticket. But man, Sentinels with a statement.
You let AMER get away with the Loki out here too. The 20 assists. Korova with these insane freezes, by the way. Then we got to see the follow-up with Techie going over to the Venom was beautiful. Even through, of course, the fate of both worlds. When you swap over to that Venom, just really provides you that extra damage output to forcing them back into the spawn room door. And then also, of course, getting a little look at magic from Rymazing is always a treat.
Yeah, that was straight out of, if you guys have seen the season 2 trailer at the Hellfire Gala, this might be an Asgard, but it was straight from that. The body armor, you know, it could have been perfect if they had the uniforms on, because it was straight there, opening with a fire start, and they got the finish from it. I mean, if you're looking for heart, this is where you find it, right here. Not only in the playoffs, this game, back-to-back sweeps, reverse sweeps, you can't make it up.
Crimzo really popped off this game too. Like, combine that with the walls to block out those entry points right before that first checkpoint. That's why it was so crucial. If 100 Thieves wanted to increase their win con, they have to get through that choke, because having those two separate chokes and then that one side off choke by the health pack it's typical. Good luck getting around that with a Groot. And then with Rymazing just hailing from above, having that supernova, 27 KOs, 10 final hits here. Combine that together, only going down 5 times.
And now all I know is somebody in the lower bracket, the winner of the game we're about to move on to, they're going to face 100 Thieves in a rage-filled one at that. But if you want the textbook on how to beat Thanos, well, Sentinels just showed us there as Terra and them went down. Just incredible effort across the board. And I think it just highlights it so well. It just feels like a solid team effort. I mean, there's so many times, like, at one point it was the Terra show, right? We kept talking about Terra, but the team of Sentinels coming together, poetic.
It wasn't just like a one-man army in that case, right? Like, everybody had their spotlight moments, whether it be stopping ultimates, Korova's side of things. AMER now at the very end being able to pop off on Loki, out-healed a lot of the team together with Korova in that previous last map before that, map number 4, and just like, then together with Nectar also, like, having those amazing pop-off moments, getting those crucial first picks onto SJP. Nectar, again, silent but deadly on that Psylocke, quite literally, while everyone is so focused on Rymazing in the sky.
Yeah, Crimso's got to start wearing an eye patch and just, you know, the Nick Fury in him. You know, I've got a team I want to assemble, because it was only the Avengers that could live up to the stakes of that match, of that reverse sweep. And again, the beautiful thing of all this, they're in the same room celebrating way into the night. It's midnight plus over there. I think they're on the East Coast, and they are waking up all the neighbors, baby, in the boot camp. The first time this team has all been together. I mean, what a moment for them.
I know that they're celebrating. They've been having a really good time too, off stream together, not only building up that synergy, but it's all about friendship, right? Having trust in one another really allows you to lean on your teammates, and they get to do that in person.
Yeah, and again, I bet you the interview will take it a second, because it's probably just a madhouse over there, and then they're gonna come all calm, cool, collected. They're like, yep, you know, job's not finished, business as usual. But they are just a great display of it. We've seen it all, right? We had the Cinderella stories of the teams that were from couch to pros, right? And there's that belief. But then we've also seen what it looks like here at the very top level and what you can strive to try to be at. This team, both of them here since the alpha, but one coming out on top.
And having the history that they have, I believe this is the 3rd time, right, Cozy, that they've been able to meet in a bracket like this. So, we know, having a lot of stakes on the line and the big money bags that's lingering over your head, to be able to come back and not let it be mentally daunting on how those first 2 matches went forward we saw the changes. There was Iron Man ult whiffs, there was Iron Man blocks from TTK. You've made adjustments. You have to swap over to the torch to get some supernovas out, to at least create some space, get somebody to help you out. Techie then going over to the AMER Frost. There were so many little individual changes going into this team that brought us to the reverse 3-0.
Hey, I'm so pumped. I've not gotten to talk. He's never done an interview. I have done videos with him, but I've not gotten to see and speak to him face to face. Welcome in, guys. Jarvis, Friday, Tony Stark. Call it what you want. It's Rymazen here for the interview. Congratulations, buddy.
Thank you. Oh my gosh. That was I'm lost for words on that one.
I mean, whether it was the triple from you, the Korova freeze on the, everyone played their part to the fullest degree. Rye, we've been talking now over a year, and I know what this team has gone through, the ups, some downs, but staying together as this team, being all together. What does this mean to you? You guys punched your ticket to China now, but tell me, let me into the room whenever you guys won that reverse sweep.
I mean, I was yelling. I jumped out of my chair. It was exciting, man. Like those matches where it's, you know, give and take, and you know, we cap with 4 minutes on Central Park, and then we choke it, but then we come back for the reverse sweep. I mean, that's just like a game you live for, man. There's nothing more exciting and exhilarating as a player, and probably as a viewer, than that.
Dude, you guys performed. You guys set us up. Like, Cozy and I were losing our minds, like seeing the reversal, seeing the counters before our eyes. I mean, can you talk to us about how you keep your mental in check when there's moments where your ult misses or gets blocked out by TTK a few times too? Like, how do you try to come back from that just to reset and just keep yourself in these fights?
I mean, Iron Man ult is like really hard. I think, I mean, I'd say most of the time it's against good teams like this, it's hard to even get like 50% on the ult. Like just hitting half the time is great. So, I mean, I just gotta keep my head up and just keep trying, you know, and sometimes you'll miss and sometimes you'll hit big, you know, and just gotta keep my head in the game. I don't know. Just keep trying.
I gotta say, I could go back all the way to our message history, right? And one of the first things I ever asked you was like, "Hey, let's make a guide together. Who's like your greatest hero?" And you're like, "I'm a demon on Iron Man." And the fact that it's come full circle, and you've gotten to display as I said yesterday, Jarvis play funeral music. I mean, dude, how does it feel? Because you guys got reverse swept. You guys got reverse swept in the group stage, and you do it again. Are you? And we saw Magic. Is it season 0, bro? What's going on?
I think Magic was really good for breaking that 3-3 hold. You just kind of jump in their back line and tear him up in the back. And I think that's good for Magic. But yeah, I mean the Iron Man, I don't know. They were scared. They started banning it last map. It was crazy. I feel like Torch is usually like Iron Man. I feel like Torch is usually better, but I don't know. I just couldn't. I felt like I wasn't doing much on Torch. Maybe it was me. Maybe it was what they're playing with the Hella, or I'm not sure. But I was like, all right, I'm just gonna go Iron Man. If you know, if it works, it works, and it did. So.
Oh, just impeccable job. Is that Crimso over to your shoulder? There's some UFC going on over there, like just like dropping 100K damage block. I gotta ask, because it seemed like obviously the Wolf was doing a lot there. At one point, we were like, it was like a horror movie for you, man. You're a Human Torch in the sky. Man. You look to the right, boom, kidnapped.
That's gonna be my nightmares. I don't know what was going on the map. I don't know. Terra's Wolf, like, I guess we learned a lesson. You gotta ban that. You can't let that through. Yeah. Because I'd look around and see like, oh, I don't see the wolf, he's hiding somewhere, and I'd walk up and try to ult, and boom, I'd be grabbed like every time. It was like, man, we just got to ban wolf. It was too much.
Dude, I have so many questions.
Oh, go ahead.
Sorry, Cozy. There's so much to dig into that series alone. I mean, can you talk to us a little bit about your synergy together with Nectar? Because Nectar, they're so good. Absolute pop-off moments on that Psylocke. How do you guys combine together with your comms? How does that sound like for your team?
I think Nectar's calling a lot of the engages, and I'm trying to like link my overdrive with it, and it felt really good. Every time it'd be like a neutral fight, and he would go dive, and he would tell me overdrive now, and then I'd pop it, and it was like perfect. It was just we were just so in sync today. I think that's really what made the difference.
That's tough too, because you know it was you and Super Gomez for so long, and for Nectar to step in there and not only him take over that role, but you and that kind of duo-ship. It's a hard thing to do. I have to talk about this though. You and let's call it Mutants and Nightmare. No, it was 100 Thieves and you guys have been playing each other so many times at the biggest stakes. I said, you know, they've taken your chance of glory before, whether it was the MRI, but then you win in the MRC or the MRC for them, right? How is it going against this team? You guys didn't face each other in the group stage or in different groups, but like when you prepare for this team, do you you know what you're getting, but it's still there's surprises that happen.
Yeah, I think it's pretty normal for 100 Thieves to play like a very standard front to back, and we can always kind of rely on that happening. I think it's more on us to kind of throw them the curveballs, throw them the Iron Man and the Magic, and kind of these weird things that they aren't ready for. And I think historically we've seen a lot of use in like doing weird things like that, like even Season 0, like Moon Knight, and I feel like we always kind of have a trick up our sleeve for their team. And yeah, today, I mean, it just worked.
Yeah, you guys did such a good job because you guys have so many different compositions too to lean on. Like they kept banning the res comp too. Like they kept target banning Crimzo. I mean, after that first map, and I feel like another player specifically that just got away with murder was TTK on that Emma Frost, man. That damage output was cool. That character's crazy. When you guys saw that the Emma Frost had gone through for them, I don't think you guys had the Emma Frost because it was banned for you guys, I think, the first map. What were the adjustments that you made around TTK? Because I feel like TTK was a pretty big playmaker on that team.
I think just initially we're kind of thinking we want to go into this with like mag ban, with what was it? I'm trying to think about it because we were protecting mag actually rather, and we weren't playing MR ourselves. I think that made their Emma a really big problem, and so I think we just kind of had to adjust and change our line a little bit, and we saw a lot more success when we also had the Emma to kind of match and contest TTK. I think that was the big change there.
Yeah, that's a good point. I actually want to give a shout out to Techie because Techie played a lot of mag over the last like what 5-6 days now, and then they matched you with the cat ban, which we've seen before. That happened last time, but then the mag ban to follow, and it's like, all right, Techie, I wanted to see what they could do, you know, to put up a fight, and wow, just it feels like you guys have rehearsed that a million times. I mean, again, we've talked about you guys, and there's teams that have these huge standout players. Ra, you know what I think about you already, but it just feels like Sentinels. You guys are just this team. You're a team, and you embody it in person together on stream when you're doing each other's makeup, when you're just hanging out, when you're getting dubs, reverse sweeps like you did here. Either way, I know it's like almost what 2 a.m. or 1 a.m. over there. It's late, buddy, but celebrate with the team. Enjoy it. Job's not done though, and 100 Thieves, they always find a way back, so you could face them again here tomorrow.
Oh yeah, I'll be ready.
All right, buddy. Well, whether it's Iron Man, Magic, we know you put on a show. It was great meeting you and seeing you face to face finally after all of our good talks, buddy. Enjoy this show, buddy. It was a good one, and thanks for coming on.
Thanks for having me.
All right, peace out, buddy.